helping me out, and I was got a new microphone. Wasn't sure if everyone could hear me. So appreciate you guys. We should be streaming live to Facebook and Instagram, but I'm not sure if the Instagram made it or not. So if someone's watching from Instagram, let me know. All right. So right now we're waiting on our first guest is going to be Chad Coston, which is the director of Mr. Sandman, which is a feature film that's playing at our film festival. And really excited to have him on, chat with him a little bit about his film. And then, some of the stuff that's going on. Is anyone in the chat from Las Vegas? Is anyone that's watching right now? Are you any of you guys from Vegas? Are you going to be able to make it out? Would love to hear from you. Because you guys are watching this, if we have some people in the chat that are from Las Vegas, I'm happy to give you guys some free tickets. Shoot a message into the chat and I'll give you a code for some free tickets. Melly said, don't see the live on Instagram. Let me see if I can connect it one more time. If not, we'll have to stay on Facebook and YouTube. Live stream. Royal 007 Cowboys. Hello, hi. How you doing? Well, where are you watching from? Lawton, you said, are you from Las Vegas, Lawton? If you are, send me a message on our Facebook page because I see you're coming in from Facebook, and I will give you a pass, some free tickets to some screenings. So shoot us a message. Okay, let's copy the stream key one more time and see if we can put it in there. Apologies, guys, for having to sit through the technical side of this. There we go. It's weird because on the restream, it does say that we are connected, but I also didn't see it. So, all right, we're saving it. Thanks, save. Close it out. Royal 007 says he lives in Dallas, Texas, my whole life. Awesome. I've never been, well, I've flown into Dallas, but I don't travel a lot, so I don't get out to most places. Have you ever been out to Las Vegas? Well, and if so, you should get out. Yeah, for some reason, Instagram's not going to hook up for us, so I apologize for that. Spooky Misfits watching from Tennessee. Awesome, thank you. Have you ever been out? Have any of you guys ever been out to Las Vegas? If you have, let me know. While we wait for our first guest, Chad, I do want to say a special thanks to our sponsors. And we had Insurgents, which is our main sponsor, has really helped us pay for the festival. I really appreciate Insurgents and for the sponsorship, as well as Universal Frights, KNPR. I should have been more properly prepared for this. Beer Zombies. I don't want to forget anybody because they're all amazing to us. Stream Beacon TV. And I know that I'm forgetting somebody, but thank you all very much, and I will remember it. It looks like Chad is joining us right now. Let's see if I can get him on. Chad, are you there? We can see Chad's screen. I can't see you if you are there. But if you are, go ahead and say something. All right, we'll pop Chad back out until he's ready to join. Until I can see his video. But yeah, again, sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll get this going. We got like 4 hours of interviews and chats coming up because we've got a bunch of filmmakers that are going to join us. And we just wanted to give them an opportunity to kind of talk about their movies. Being an independent filmmaker is tough. And, I got a message from Chad. It says he can't connect. Okay. Try again, Chad. I did see something on the top, but you should be able to just join and then come in. I think the connect you might have been trying to do should have been through something else, but try it again. I did see that pop up and it went away before I added it. Rail 007 says, never been to Las Vegas, but I have family in California. Horror Vibes Copy is another one. Thank you, Mel, for helping me out. Gosh, I know I was forgetting somebody. Again, appreciate all of our sponsors. Really appreciate you guys. Rail 007, yeah, California is great. I love California. That's where Insurgents is based, and that is a company that I work for. And Niccolo Messina is the gentleman who sponsored the film festival and helped us out a lot too, and we appreciate that. We're waiting right now for Chad to join. Mel, if you're around, you want to hop in and we could chat a little bit before we get filmmakers on. If you're busy, no worries. But have any of you guys that's on the chat, anybody been to a film festival before? We have any filmmakers in here? Like to kind of talk about that kind of stuff, and if you guys have questions when these filmmakers come on, make sure you ask them. But I am a filmmaker. This is my YouTube channel, Creepy Popcorn. I would not pop in and do live streams sometimes, and Mel joins me, and I've had Justin join me in the past, and a bunch of other friends. We talk about filmmaking, we talk about horror movies that we love, and the other thing that we have is our film festival, which is Sin City Horror Fest, that me and four other friends started. We founded it back in 2017, I believe. This is our 8th year live. We missed last year because we had just took a year off, tried to regroup, bring in some new people. And Mel was one of those new people. And oh, wait, I think I see Chad. Chad, I can see some video. You're looking. Are you ready? Let's try and bring Chad on real quick.
How come I can't flip this?
I don't know.
Chad, we can see you. We can hear you. Are you there?
Hi, I'm having real technical problems.
That's all right. I did too. I couldn't get on. I couldn't connect to Instagram, even though I prepared it and had it ready to go.
Jeez, sorry about that, sir.
No worries, man. This is a it's like indie filmmaking. Right?
Yeah.
We're figuring it out as we go along.
I know. I was like logged in early. It was fine, and then as soon as it started, it just said that it couldn't allow restream. So I had to kind of go into all my settings in Safari and switch devices. So
yeah, for
everybody
some
else has
reason,
that issue.
Safari blocks. Google Chrome is better to. It seems more friendly with restream for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But hey, thank you for joining us, man. It's nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're excited to show your film, Mr. Sandman.
Can't wait.
You want to tell everybody a little bit about your film?
Sure. It is my second feature, and it's kind of like a. Sorry, I'm still frazzled from the tech issues. I was like, I didn't even hear me swearing.
All good, man.
But yeah, it's basically set at a summer camp. I went to summer camp as a kid, and I always thought it would be a fun location and a way to kind of keep everybody, kind of in one space to make a movie. That was my philosophy in my first film too, was get everyone to a small town and they have nowhere to go but make a movie. So it's part of the strategy. But basically it's a mother-daughter story, a road trip down memory lane for the two of them. And the idea is that a young girl died when the main character was really young at camp, and they sort of re-meet some old campers who all coincidentally end up at this camp, and they all remember that little girl dying, but each one of them remembers some different creature or monster taking her life, and it reflects their own cultural fears or monsters, I guess. Yep. And so that's kind of the mystery, and then the five of them are kind of reconnecting and trying to figure out what's really going on. And it's a bit of an allegory for the 5 stages of grief. Each character represents one stage of grief.
It's really cool. I watched it, and I love the vibe and the tone of that movie. And I have a 6-year-old child who you can't really see, but my whole room is filled with horror stuff. He's unfortunately been raised around things that are probably not quite ready for, but he loves scary stuff. And I'm going to bring him to the screening of your movie because it's like, and don't judge me, everybody, but it was like yours was like it's fun, and it's not made for 6-year-olds. I get that, but it was a really fun movie that I was like, he sneaks around and watches stuff he shouldn't watch. But I love your movie because it reminds me of 80s horror. The characters are so kind of fun, and I don't know, you did an amazing job with all the like atmosphere and the vibe that you put in that film.
Thank you so much. Like that was absolutely the goal, and to kind of reconnect with the movies that I loved growing up. I don't know if I was watching them at 6, but
I tried to remember when I was watching them, because I was like my mom and my grandma and then my best friends. They were always watch horror movies, and we would sneak in and kind of watch behind. I know I was young. I don't know that I was 6. I feel kind of bad about it, but it's
what's the scariest movie he's seen so far? Then
I let him watch Monster Squad.
Oh, okay. Totally.
Yeah, and but he tries to sneak onto YouTube and watch like clips from really bad movie because I have all these action figures and stuff, and so I have to keep a close eye on that. My wife and I.
That's awesome. But yeah, Monster Squad is totally in that vein. So yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
he'll
felt.
be okay.
Kez F says Cadillac. Is that a friend of yours? Saying
Oh
hi.
my God, yeah, that's Will. I haven't seen him for a long time. He was a student of mine many years ago, and is an American, and haven't seen him for ages. Hey, buddy,
And I
years and
think he's
years and
your
years.
producer, right, Timo? It says family friendly horror film, or for the win. I
Nice.
agree. I feel like your movie is a family friendly horror movie, and that's I don't know. I don't have a lot of friends that make movies and do things, but yours is the first that I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring my son and my nephew to the screening for that. So
Oh, that's great. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah, that's awesome.
Timo and
You,
I both grew up with those movies, and we worked really hard to kind of capture that vibe. But it's also been a trickier thing to market that way, I think. But it was a blast to make.
yeah, unfortunately, I work in distribution too, and have a lot of friends in distribution and stuff like that, and sales agents. And it's a funny thing. It seems they don't care about it the way that we do, and they almost look at it as like a negative thing. They're like, "Well, that's like," but it's not. Fans love it, and like it just needs to. What I think, at least my opinion is like, I think it just needs to be done better more often. I think a lot of
Mm,
try to nail it and they kind of miss pretty heavy because it's low budget stuff. But I feel
mm.
like you guys really nailed it. Like the characters, you really did. It was a fun movie. It was a really fun movie to watch, and I enjoyed it. So,
Thank you so much.
you guys,
It means the world after nearly a decade on this thing.
long time you've been working on it.
Well, I wrote it. I wrote their first draft in 2015, and we didn't seriously try to start the engine until COVID had happened,
Right.
and then delayed a year, and then unfortunately there was still too many restrictions. And it was too prohibitively expensive in 2021, so we delayed another year, and then finally shot it in 2022. So, um, and then post took a couple years because it is a zero budget movie, even if it doesn't look like it. Thankfully.
No, it definitely doesn't look like it. I don't want to pry, but it's not fair to ask that. But it's like I appreciate low budget stuff, and I always love to see what people do. So if you don't want to say, you don't have to. We can talk about it another time. But it's like I'm always so impressed because I think it's one of the biggest barriers for people to get into filmmaking is they think like got to have $1,000,000, got to have 100,000. Like they always have like these kind of arbitrary numbers before they even write their script, before they even start to try. And I feel like it holds a lot of great filmmakers back from jumping in. And so I always like share like my first film, I spent like 25,000 on. My second film, I spent 12. Um,
Oh.
and neither look as polished as yours do, but mine. But like I just did it. I was like, I got some money. I got to learn. I got to practice. I got to put myself out there. So it's cool to do that stuff.
Totally. Yeah. I think like I always say, like if you don't have the money, you need the time, and that's why it took us so long. But it was a similar thing. Yeah, like Team and I, invested a lot in it, and friends and family. So we did have a budget to put it together, but it was kind of piecemeal over a long period of time.
Right.
Uh, so I'm very grateful for everybody who contributed, and hopefully they're all happy with the final result.
That's awesome. Do you have you and Timo? Are you guys are coming out for the screening? Is that right?
We are, yeah. I've never been to Vegas, so I'm super stoked.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Welcome to Vegas. I'm. It's at the Palms Casino. It's a fun. It's a pretty cool place, and it's a nice place to stay. So I think they filmed like a season of an MTV challenge there one year or something like that, or roller rolls or something in one of their suites. But
Oh,
it's fun casino here off the strip.
cool. I can't wait.
Um, So real quick, do you guys have any have you started with distribution yet, or what's kind of your plan for the movie? You're putting it out to the festivals and trying to see, or
Yeah, we're kind of still in talks and looking around with the sales agent thing. But right now, we've just sent it out to festivals and seeing what sticks. And yeah, it's just, honestly it's just started. Like I've been my Timo's better to ask about it probably when you meet him.
right?
But my head's been down just in the movie, like in the creative and just the getting her done logistics. So this feels like it's just starting, and I'm very very excited and honored to be screening at Sin City for this.
We're honored to have you, man, and congratulations, and enjoy the ride. The one thing I've learned amongst all my friends and all the experience that I've gotten is like, don't rush it. Like if you find a good partner as far as sales and all that stuff go, it's fine. But it's like you work so hard, you spend so much time. oftentimes I see kind of people kind of try to rush their distribution. It's like, man,
Mm.
you got the movie. It's awesome. Now, you know, find the right space, find the right person, and enjoy the ride.
Thank you for saying that, because yeah, we that was something we were kind of agonizing over, actually, because there's sometimes opportunities and you're just like, do we just do it now? But we don't feel ready, and we are very kind of like take our time type filmmakers and just
Yeah.
want to do it right. So it's nice to hear that from another filmmaker and know, okay, yeah, okay, no, that was a good choice.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was the first movie I made. It was my biggest mistake I made. I didn't know anything. I really didn't have people to kind of talk to about it. But I remember when I finally got an offer, I was just like, okay, what if I say no to this? Will there be one more offer? Like that was before, Film Hub and all those different things. So like, I was terrified that like, if I was terrified to even push back really. Like I had to kind of like my basic things, but no, it's your movie, man. And you guys get put it out there and find the right partner and the right person that can, help you get it out there and see what it does. So,
That's awesome. Thank you.
well, anything else you want to chat about? Well, like, we got a few more minutes.
I do want to say, for anybody who's out there listening, that the one thing we're really, really proud of, that I'm especially personally proud of, because I grew up with all the same movies probably that you love as well, and the practical effects are Ghostbusters is like I've seen it, hundreds of times, and so for me, one of the things I'm really proud of is like all the work that we put into the practicals. So when you do see the movie, there's no 3D animation. Everything is practical elements and then composited using After Effects. So yeah, I hope people who are interested in those kinds of movies and the art that's involved will really enjoy it on on that level as well. So I'm very, very proud of that. It took me years of 340 visual effects shots I worked on every day for
Oh
about a year
wow,
and a half, and it was a lot of fun. I have to say, even though it was crazy grind, it was so much fun. And yeah, I just
did you
hope
kind of
people like.
teach yourself how to do that stuff along the way? Was that the
Kind of. Well, I'm from Calgary originally, in Alberta, and I was very lucky to get on the set of Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the television series, when I was 19.
Oh, how
So
fun!
I kind of got like exposed to how a lot of that was. It was interested. I was making costumes out of cardboard and stuff before that, but and then that kind of started it. And I've got a couple of friends that are still my friends today that I still work with today. In fact, Keith, who played Mr. Sandman, is 10 years older than me. And he was the one who got me hired on that show way back 25, whatever, 30 years ago.
That's
And
amazing.
and yeah, and so he's a genius. He's a monster maker and a monster performer. You've seen him many, many, many times without ever knowing that was him. In lots
What's
of
his name?
movies. Keith Arbuthnot.
Okay,
And yeah, he's in X Files. He's in all kind the new series. Uh, Alien show. God, it's escaping me. Annihilation? Is that it? No.
the Alien movie, like or the
Uh,
Alien television show,
new,
or
new Alien series. Yeah, it's got this sort of gelatinous, like iridescent looking creature. I don't know why it's slipped out of my head right now, but anyway, he's in tons of stuff. So if you like X Files, he's been in that, and Invasion. He's the alien in
okay,
Invasion.
I'll have to look it
um,
up.
yeah, and also for fans of sort of our vibe movie, Resident Alien is a pretty fun show, and he plays Alan Tudyk's double as the
Oh,
alien.
really? I love that show.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great show.
yeah, hilarious. The tone of it's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Kez off. What was it? Is it Kez off? He was asking, excited to see the movie when it becomes available. Will there be a physical home release at some point?
Heck yeah. Yeah, we're definitely planning Blu-rays, so that will happen
Awesome.
for sure.
That's
We'll
very
send you
cool.
one, Will.
Yeah, Timo just said it was Invasion, and then he said season two. I don't know if that's season
Season
two
two.
Resident
Yeah,
Alien or of
yeah,
Invasion.
yeah. There's actually a little featurette of Keith on the if you're watching out on Apple TV as well. So
Yeah, those creature performers don't get enough appreciation. It's an incredible thing to do. Like
oh yeah,
and
they
it
suffer.
and it also seems simple. Like when you don't know, when you're like, oh, just walk like an alien. It's not a big no. But it's like no, it's not. It's not simple.
No,
It's a very interesting skill to have and very cool.
he could tell you stories for days. We and not just from our movie, but we did have him in that suit for a very long time. So Keith, if you're watching, thank you again. And yeah, yeah.
Do you have
Just no
any,
one.
socials or any websites or anything you'd like to plug or anything else you wanna talk
Oh,
about?
sure. Sorry, I'm
Get it
so new
out?
to this. I'm terrible
No,
at
no,
this.
no, not at all.
So yeah, we have yeah, our Instagram is Mr. Sandman underscore film. You can also go to mrsandmanfilm.com. We also have merch store where we're selling our t-shirts.
Love
Drew
it.
Mr. Sandman, and those are on ironflamingos.com. You kind of have to see the movie to know the reference for that name, but the ironflamingos.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to bring out any T-shirts or anything, or is that a print to order?
I think we've got a few left. Timo could probably comment in here and say, but yeah, I think we still got a few. I know I've got a couple extras, so we'll bring a few down for sure. And
Yeah, I'd like to get one,
we got
and I'm
some
happy to pay
cards to give
for it.
out.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, anything well, the one other question I had for you, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask because 'cause we're still waiting on the next person.
Yeah.
You said this is your second feature film.
Mm.
What was your first, and what was that like?
My first one was back in 2000. We shot it in 2007, and it's called The Coming, and it's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. But it was kind of like extended film school. I learned everything
Yeah.
what not to do. And if I didn't mention, I teach at the Vancouver Film School, so I've been
Oh,
teaching
no.
there for years. And I think the process of teaching the students about all I tell them stories from that first feature every week, and all the things that I learned. So I finally took all that knowledge and put it into my new movie and managed to solve a lot of problems. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm still proud of it though. For a first feature, it was super ambitious. I dragged everyone out to Manitoba and shot for a month and ended up in the hospital twice from exhaustion, and
Oh, no. That's
it
a real
was
thing, man, that
it
people don't
was
realize. Yeah, it's you
silly,
almost kill yourself when you're making these movies. It's
but
like you gotta learn to
pace.
s pace and then somehow also not carry all the stress of the entire
Yes,
production on your shoulders all day,
yes,
every day.
yeah. You can handle the physical hours, but you can't handle these ones, like the mental stuff, if you're not really prepared for it. And that was definitely my learning. I learned where my wall was, and I've never come close to it since. So yeah,
Very
so it's
good.
important to make movies in a healthy way.
Absolutely. And
I
Timo
do.
says, "Yes,
Oh,
they're gonna have" it looks like you're gonna have, maybe that was yes to the T-shirts, I think.
oh,
So,
okay.
very
Oh
cool.
yeah, big yes. I actually have another star of the movie here. If you want to say hi real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
Ah! I'd love it.
this
What
is Smitten the kitten or cat dog.
what's his real name?
This is Romeo,
Romeo?
and
That's adorable.
yeah, he's a good boy. He's aged a little bit since he was had his days on camera. He's but he still looks like a star, right?
I love it, absolutely. How was that working with your dog in the movie?
Oh, it was great. We actually scheduled it really well, so we had him only there. Like it seems like he's in a lot of the film,
Yeah,
but I think he was only actually out in the camp for 2 days, and he never stayed there. My partner just brought him home, so he was pretty well looked after. I think the only time he got a little freaked out was he had to travel home with Keith after playing Mr. Sandman one day, and I think that was unnerving for him. It's
uh,
like, who's this guy? What is this thing in the car with me?
that's amazing.
That was
You
his
know,
horror.
you bring up Mr. Sandman again there, I wanted to ask that other question I forgot was, I think I'm not ruining it, but either way, the character design for Mr. Sandman, where did that come from? How did you come up with that, choice and
Oh, yeah, thank you for asking that. I haven't thought about that for a long time. But so the original idea of Sandman actually was it was a different movie actually. It was called EBE. It was just about aliens and the idea because I love aliens. And I thought that maybe all the monsters throughout history and all of our cultures were actually grays, and we just misinterpreted them, incubus and succubus and all these
yeah,
things. And then I just kind of went one step further and went, well, what if even aliens are just a contemporary cultural creature and there's something else and it's just something that's always been here. So the reason I designed him the way I did was I kind of wanted in this story, he's primarily a vampire, an alien, and a goblin. So I kind of blended his sort of natural features. So he has kind of a pointy thing that looks kind of like a hat for a goblin and the danglies, and then he's kind of got vampire eyes and kind of
yeah,
structure on his face, and his ears, and then his head is big and bulbous, and and eyes kind of like an Alien 2. And so originally, if I'd had the money, we were going to actually build a duplicate of the head that we would project the different faces onto to show texture changing so that you could actually see the transformation. But it just wasn't affordable, and we didn't have enough time. So when you see the film, for those who haven't, it's mostly just sort of hidden in cuts. And we kind of, what I ended up doing in the end was just making them all have the exact same eyes. So then that way you would kind of go, oh, okay, this is definitely still Sandman. It's still his influence. Even though I'm looking at a vampire right now, it's still the same eyes. So
Very cool. Yeah, I loved it. It was a great choice.
thank you.
Well, we got our next filmmaker maker popping up, and but thank you so much for joining us, Chad. And I really look forward to meeting you in person.
You too.
And
Thanks for having me. And so sorry for that
yeah,
delay at the start.
oh,
So
no worries at all. And anyone that's watching, if you can make it out, come out and see Chad's movie. It's going
yeah,
to play on Saturday night, correct? Saturday night.
that's right.
So
On the
thank
8th.
you so much, my man, and
Cool.
we'll chat soon.
Can't wait to meet you. See ya.
You too. Take care, buddy. Bye. All right, our next filmmaker up is Ritesh from the movie The Red Mask. Bring him on. Hello, Ritesh.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you, man? Very nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too, Mike. Thanks for doing this and having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. For everybody who's watching and watches this later, Ritesh is the director of the movie The Red Mask. That's going to be playing at the film festival and opening up on Friday, November 7th
Yep.
at 6:30 p.m., I believe.
Yep.
So I watched the movie, really enjoyed it, loved it a lot. Tell people about it. Tell them about the film.
It's a modern day meta slasher that just really takes on so many of the things that I think in this day and age of genre horror, any sort of thing that's a remake, a reboot, any sort of thing that's adding on to a sort of a legacy that already exists that has its own core fandom. It really plays around with this idea of ownership. And it's a very meta movie. It's a meta slasher about a fictional movie from the 1980s called The Red Mask. So self-titled a little bit. And yeah, it's just, it really kind of asks the question out loud, which is when it's time to add a page or rewrite the history book, who gets to hold the pen?
Right.
Who gets to have their version of the story heard? It's sort of an interesting question that I think we're bombarded with around Hollywood every day.
Right. And we fight about it on social media all the time and makes me angry.
And a lot of energy on social media debating, what could just be a conversation, and sadly is not.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wish the world could get back to just talking to each other about things. You can disagree all you want, but you don't got to fight about it.
You and me both.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the film, and it was I liked your the approach to it and what you guys did. I got it's I don't want to give away anything, but I think just what you said, it's like it's a very cool kind of unexpected angle, and for a slasher movie, which is fun, so how'd you guys get it put together?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we shot this movie in 16 days of principal photography in one location.
Oh wow.
And I won't spoil it for you, but the location, I mean, the movie's so meta, even the location itself has its own place in sort of like horror legend lore. The movie's been used in an infamous 80s slasher movie in and of itself, and one of the most successful franchises we know. And it's the original house, and we filmed this entire movie in one house in 16 days. It was just fly a little bit by the seat of your pants. In fact, today, as we're speaking on November 3rd, today was the last day of principal photography a year ago. We shot it a year ago, turned it around very quickly, had an amazing team on it. And it just, it kind of came together with this great script from Patrick Young and Samantha Garash. And, Powell Robinson was our cinematographer. And honestly, Mike, there's times when I blacked out during portions of it, but we just drove forward and we were shooting like 8 to 10 pages a day and just found a way to get it done.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's got a great cast. I know you got the cast. How did you know some of those people? Is that kind of how you casted it? And I guess actually real quick, a little bit more background is like you as a filmmaker, what is your background there? Like in the indie world, it can be anything.
It's a great question. I've never made a movie in my life, yet alone a horror movie. This is my very first narrative feature.
Wow.
And yeah, I come from the world of documentary and journalism. That's sort of my background and where I come from. I'd always wanted to make a feature film, but never found the right script. And this one just really kind of spoke to this, what's happening in modern day. And as you were saying, without giving too much away, it just really plays with this idea of like, who gets to, the movie's about ownership, and it's about gender, and it's about color, and it's about so many things, but it's very self-aware. Like, we don't take ourselves seriously, but we do take what they're talking about and the sort of like the points of it very seriously. And in terms of the cast is so good. And Anna Sarkis, Helena Howard, Jake Abel, Kelly Garner, they just brought the heat in this movie. And it was really 4 actors in a house. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, the acting is phenomenal. And quite frankly, made my life way easier having to shoot 8 pages a day, and having never made a feature film before. So they did a phenomenal job of just making me look a lot better than I am.
So this being your first feature, you said you did documentary stuff. What was kind of what you said the script, obviously, and that makes sense. But it was like what I don't know, what was it? What kind of made it be this moment? It was like, you know what, this is the right time. Let me go out and figure out how to do this. Did you go out and get it funded? Did you guys self-fund?
Yeah, the producer Atit Shah completely self-funded it.
Oh,
Amy
wow.
Schoaf, one of our phenomenal producers, she helped bring on the cast and was a lion in just helping to bring on the cast, and having done movies for 30 years herself. And we just within that structure of the team, we had whatever money we had. We did not have a lot of money. We had so little money that I had to be our own location scout. Yeah. And by location scout, I mean sitting in a house in Nashville, spending 8 hours on doing Google searches, right, looking for the perfect murder house in Los Angeles, but one that looked anywhere USA and felt like a cabin in the woods. But yeah, it was just sort of sheer force. And I've always looked for a smart script. And to me, like, I come from a background of doing everything from, I worked for MTV back when the M still stood for music in their documentaries department, but it was everything from pop culture to like hard politics. And I've seen the dark side of this planet and been sent to the corners of this earth that I probably shouldn't belong if I wasn't there with a camera. And for me, like, I'm not interested in telling stories that don't have some sort of gravitas and have, characters that are trying to figure something out and really take a chance at identifying them. And within this script that Samantha and Patrick wrote was just this amazing opportunity to tell a really cool story and and the genre was the perfect way to tell it. It just felt very, it very much is this modern story, which it talks about, which we are talking about online obsessive fandom, versus the creators and storytellers tasked with creating something new and the friction between it. But in my mind, at the heart of this too was like a movie about this great debate that was raging through our country. And I felt that this movie was speaking about, in a way, what was happening all around us, which is it better to change something and adapt in the name of progress, or no matter how controversial and fucked up, preserve the past?
Right.
Those are the two things at play in this movie. And I felt like it was so prescient to what we all experience on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And I definitely got that in it. It's one of those cool things where it's like, the movie itself just feels like a fun slasher movie, a fun horror movie. But you do have this kind of deep messaging and this thing you can walk away from after watching it and make you think, make you say, because that's kind of what I got out of it, other than just enjoying it. Was like, I love that message and talking about like things that we're so passionate about, and then kind of like forgetting that humans are attached to the other side of that thing. When you're like, I hate it. It's so unfortunate because it's like, you can have an opinion, but it doesn't need to be hateful.
Exactly. And it really wanted to tear down the walls of online anonymity. And in a way, Mike, it was sort of like, I hope when people see it, like, they kind of see like one of the underlying ideas to me was like, who needs a killer in a mask when there's nothing more terrifying than online anonymity?
Yeah. Yeah, very much. You're right. So, you have anything else lined up? You have anything else that you're planning on doing, or?
Got a couple projects in the mix. Got a sports biopic, a couple other sort of film ideas, and like I said, I never got in this business to just be like, I'm going to be in the movie business. I just like telling great stories,
Right.
and I just like kind of going to where that sensibility. I will say I have the itch to do more narrative after doing this, and it was a great first experience. I hope people enjoy themselves, as you said. I hope this movie makes you think, makes you feel, and just like, and as you said, like you can have fun too.
Yeah, just have a good time with it. Do you have any of your documentaries or any websites or any socials you kind of want to
Yeah.
share? And
Absolutely. If people want to find me, I think the best way to find me is on Instagram. It's Ritesh, Ritesh films with an S on the end. That on my Instagram handle, riteshfilms.com. Admittedly, I need to update my website. It hasn't been updated in quite a few years. But yeah, just I think Instagram's where I sort of kind of stay the most active, and I just have a lot of my work. And I've been fortunate to do some pretty amazing things and in documentary and in long form and in shorter form. And just, again, just, you try to find stories about people and stories
Right.
that matter. And in the heart of that, like even amidst, to your point, Mike, amidst a slasher, like you just try to have it still be focused on the characters so that you give a shit about what they're going through and who they are. And it maybe changes the outcome of how you feel in the end.
And it's also, and not to say your guys' movie, because your movie does not feel like it feels like a big movie, but in the sense of independent filmmaking and stuff, it's one of the things I talk about a lot with filmmakers is like remembering how important it is to pay attention to those characters, to give those characters, like and a lot of us growing and learning the art of filmmaking and stuff. Oftentimes, you get excited about an idea and you forget how important the characters are. When you take a step back and you look at it, you're like, "This is not very good," and it's always that.
Yeah.
And the the thing that's so interesting there to remember for independent filmmakers is that like that's cheap. Building great characters, you have to have a great writer and a good director to pull it off. But it's like focusing on those characters make a rich story. And you can shoot something in one location and it feels like you're all over the world.
I know, and that's such a testament to Powell Robinson, our DP, and our colorist Mitch Paulson, who did Skyfall and Sicario and
Wow.
Blade Runner 2049. I mean, the movie, I can't wait till the 7th and for people to see it, because the movie looks so, I just watched it on a screening this past weekend, and I'm sitting there in awe. I'm like, how does our movie look this big? Because I know the budget. And it's so incredible. And if I can actually share you an anecdote, which
Yeah, please.
may or not be a spoiler, but there's a scene in the movie. Is it okay if I say pause if you don't want to hear a spoiler, but I'll give you a spoiler? And Mike, I think you're going to love this. You talked about independent filmmaking. Let me give you an example. There's plenty of things on our set, just like every other set, that didn't go the way it's planned. We had a big, huge outdoor stunt scene where there were two big stunts taking place. One where somebody falls out of a window, and another where two people have a fight outside of a barn with like axes and knives and all sorts of objects that can kill you. And it was going to be a true overnight, meaning we were in LA and like we were going to start shooting at 7:30 p.m. and go till 7:30 a.m. when the sun rose a year ago today. And at 7 p.m., Mike, I swear to God, we have a balloon light that I had to beg the producers to get because it cost a lot of money, but it was going to light both scenes to make us move faster, get more comfortable.
Right.
And at 7 p.m., literally, the balloon explodes.
Oh shit!
And it like you can hear the glass explode, and then the shards of glass cut the balloon, and the helium goes.
Oh no!
And it just lands on the ground, and I'm just sitting there like this.
Oh.
And I just all I want at that point, Mike, is for the earth to swallow me and take me.
Yeah. It's the worst feeling, man.
I'm like, we have just choreographed a massive fight scene, and like they've spent 5 hours doing it, and I just take a deep breath and just like, okay. And I just did a little walk and just kind of like walked for like 5 minutes on this property, which is stunning when people see the movie. I mean, we're on this ranch, and I walk back, and I see our talented DP and our gaffer, Nate Thompson, and They're like, we have an idea. And I'm like, all right, shoot. They're like, what if we just ran this entire thing in front of the headlights of the pickup truck? And I was like, wait a second. Isn't there dust on the ground all around this pickup truck? What if we have a PA off camera fanning up dust during this fight scene? And we ended up filming this epic fight scene that just looks and feels
Beautiful.
big.
Yeah.
And stunning.
Yeah.
And it's literally, Mike, I'm not even lying to you, it's lit by the headlights of a Toyota Tacoma.
I love it, man. I love it. That's so
That's
cool.
it.
That's such a great.
I mean, filmmaking at its best, it was one of those happy accidents that looked 1,000 times better. And
Well, and also to your credit, I mean, it's you having a level head as a director. It's like you can't. It's very easy to kind of like get swallowed by the beast of problems and
yes,
things, but you can't
Yeah.
do that. And there is always a solution, and
Yeah.
you just got to look for it and embrace it.
And I think that's one of the great lessons I think I took away from this. And it's like, and I use on everything that I do, where it's just like, just because it doesn't go how you thought it would go, doesn't make it bad. It just makes it different.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, and if you can embrace that and accept that, like, it's not 100% the way you saw it. There are sort of creative compromises you have to use, but I try to feel like this. I try to say that my ideas are almost like bamboo blowing. Bamboo's the strongest wood, right? It can blow in a hurricane gale wind. And the hurricane is other people's ideas or things happening, that my idea should be strong enough like bamboo that it can bend in the wind, but it won't break.
Right.
And so that's the way, like, whether it's outside input, a different idea, it's the craft service PA having an idea, or circumstances like a Mother Nature and a balloon light exploding just change the way we have to shoot something. You just got to embrace it and go, like, let's just get shit done.
Right. No, that's beautiful, man. I don't know if you saw it. There was just this interview with Guillermo del Toro going around from Frankenstein, but there was like a question asked about like him losing his lead, because I believe the lead first was Andrew Garfield that was going to play Frankenstein's monster. But he said it so perfectly, and it's the same thing where he's just like, at the stage of his career, he's like, I don't get upset. I just ask why. You know what? Right. Why did this happen? What can I do with it? And it's such a great lesson for, you know, because when you're young and you're trying to get into this thing, there is so much pressure and it's so scary, and you're so afraid that like everything means the end of the world. But it's like, no, it's a journey you're on. And you just got to roll with the punches, and you know, like there's always a solution. And sometimes, it works out for the best. Right. Sometimes it leads to something a lot better.
Right, 100, 1,000 times. Yeah, I did hear that, and he's right. And like, you just got to let it kind of take you and go with it, and just like, you know, not be precious about it.
Yeah. Well, very cool. How about before we wrap up, do you guys have any other screenings planned? Do you have?
There's we're on right now, knock on wood, we're on quite a decent run. If people want to find us too, we're at the Red Mask Movie. You can obviously, if after you've seen this or after you've seen the film, you can add us to, we love a Letterboxd review, Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb review. But fans seem to really enjoy this movie, and I think this is the last screening we'll have for a while. There's a few that look like in January are coming up. Nothing's locked for sure. We just won Best in Show in Italian Horror Film Fest this past weekend.
Nice, congratulations!
Thank you. And it's just been quite a run. So, you know, I think the beauty is like I went into this with the only expectation, I just wanted people to enjoy themselves, and like, if something else comes out of it, like, great. But yeah, I feel like we are just at the beginning of our festival run. We just started in August. World premiered at Fright Fest, and hopefully Sin City just springboards us into the next year. And there's a lot more big news coming.
We hope so. And you guys are coming out? You guys are going to be at the festival?
Yeah, we are planning on being at the festival. We're, I think Anana, our lead actress, she lives in Las Vegas now. So.
Oh, wow.
I'm planning on making an appearance, and I look forward to seeing everybody out there.
Yeah, so anyone in Las Vegas, please come out and check out the film. Again, I have some free tickets, so shoot me a DM on our Facebook page, and I'm happy to give free tickets to any of the screenings that you guys are interested in while we have those lasting. Ritesh, it was great chatting with you, man. I really, really do look forward to meeting you in person and watching the movie with you guys. And yeah, I'm happy for it. Very excited. Any idea yet? You haven't even messed with distribution, right? Getting it out there. You're just gonna run
We finished this movie. I think I finished this in I think I finished this 3 days before its world premiere, and I hadn't even seen it fully together until I saw it with the audience at the world premiere of Fright Fest. That's how like seat of the pants. I mean, like I said, we literally wrapped picture November 3rd, 2024.
Wow.
So, I mean,
that's a fast turnaround for a feature.
It was a very fast turnaround, but like, you know, the story was there, and I just hope that, you know, fans just kind of come in and like, it feels like it's art imitating life, imitating art.
Right. Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, look forward to meeting you. And please, anybody watching, check out all of Ritesh's stuff and his website and come out and enjoy the movie with us.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike.
Take care, Ritesh. Bye. All right. So we've got 2 filmmakers so far and enjoying the chats. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Seen a couple of little questions pop up. Sherry Gilliam, taking on a job or a profession, you got to start somewhere. And anybody that's willing and wanting to help you out is definitely a godsend. That's for sure. 100%, especially in the indie filmmaking business. It's tough to get people. It's not tough. There's a lot of people that are really excited about it and love it and come out, and there's great people that want to help, and there's always kind of somebody. And then it's just that journey of finding the right people and having a good time. Next up, we're going to have filmmaker Brenden Christensen, and he's got 2 movies playing at our film festival, Body Cam and Night of the Reaper. So let's bring Brenden in. Brenden, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sorry about earlier. I came in and out.
Oh, no, that's all right. I was still trying to get I got a new mic, and I was trying to get the sound on it checked, and I was like, check. And then I saw you, and I was like, oh, shit, Brandon's there. Then I was like really panicking. I'm like trying to check my schedule. But
I was overly eager. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, man. We're happy to have you. For those in the audience that are watching and watch us afterwards, Brenden is a incredible director who has shown films at our festival multiple times, I think, and won some awards. And at some point, you lived here in Las Vegas too.
Yeah, I was there for 15 years, so yeah, it was like a big chunk of my life.
That's awesome. And you're back in Canada now. Were you originally from Canada? Is that right?
Yeah. So I moved back to kind of where my family is and everything like that. Just felt like after COVID, it was kind of like the right time for us to be closer to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been, I've been able to shoot a few movies while out here, and just kind of keeping on.
Very cool. So we're going to be doing it on Thursday, November 6th, coming up this week. We're kicking off the festival with a double feature of your 2 new movies, Body Cam and Night of the Reaper. So again, anybody that's here in Vegas or anyone that can make it out, please come check out these movies. They're amazing. One's a found footage, one's a traditional kind of narrative.
Mhm.
But let's start with Body Cam is going to be the first one that plays at 5 p.m.
Cool.
Tell us about Body Cam.
Yeah, body cam was something that was, kind of in development for a long time. Like I'd always wanted to do a found footage film, but I feel like to do a successful found footage film, you need a good gimmick, and I never really had that. Like, you've seen things like Grave Encounters doing the paranormal kind of TV show thing. You've got Blair Witch, which is like a real, documentary type thing. But it wasn't until I saw Jurassic World back when that came out. There's a sequence in it where they use these, like they put cameras on the raptors, and they're like using the raptors for good. And there's like this control room of all these people watching this like body cam footage on a raptor. And I was just like, oh, I wonder if you could do a movie like that. And just, there's this innate tension that just happens from when you're in this, like, a situation with no cutting, no close-ups, nothing like that. You're just in a situation. And like, I watch YouTube videos of body cams like all the time. Like they're everywhere now. And even in just like really simple scenarios where it's like a traffic stop or something like that, there's still this tension because the camera can only see so much. You're kind of hearing a lot, and that's doing a lot of the weightlifting and everything. So I was like, well, maybe a body cam movie would be kind of cool. And it took a long time to figure out what the story would be. And this is where we ended up.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it's you're right. Like I love found footage movies, and there's so many that come out, and it's like they're for such an easy subgenre. It's a very hard thing to tackle because it's like you can really hit mediocrity pretty easy, right? Like
Sure.
you can really kind of like, and not to crap on anybody's thing, but it's like when you're making something, you want to put heart and soul in it, and that little gimmick or that
Hmm.
that extra special thing, which you guys hit with this a lot. I really enjoyed it, and the look of it is just incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
it's cool.
yeah, for body cam footage, it's like it's. I think a lot of times, like people that like when you're trying to get into something, it's like, oh, maybe I'll do a found footage movie as my first feature. Just kind of think it's easy, and it can
Hmm.
be, but it was like there's also an incredible way to do it, and I don't know, the lighting and everything in that movie, like the cinematography looks amazing. And you're like, this is body, like this is crazy.
Right. And,
Um,
and and that's really funny too, because like, I had Clayton Moore on it, who also shot Night of the Reaper and another couple movies I've done, but he didn't really have a lot to do in that department on this film because the actors shot the film and the actors
right.
lit the film. So there's like a couple scenes in the movie where there is lights, but in general, like 99% of the film, it's all done by the actors. So Clayton was running audio for us because we just didn't have, he's just like an all around talented guy. So he can kind of jump
Yeah.
in where he needs to. But yeah, we built this system where the actors could do it, and they would do one take when they were filming, and that would be like a whole different technical challenge because they'd be following the action, and that they can't see what they're shooting. So you'd be doing a lot of takes and figuring it's like, okay, well, when he says this line, I need you to whip your body over here and look over here and like lean in kind of weird. And it was really kind of interesting to see how the dynamic of how they did the scene would change when they had the camera vest on, because they would have to be like these tanks, like turning and standing still and doing and hitting these marks and all that stuff, while the other guy could be really loose. Then we would rotate, and the other guy would put the camera on, and all of a sudden he's doing all the rigid movements, and the other guy's able to kind of really perform. So yeah, just from like a blocking and a technical challenge, it was really interesting because we got to really play around with just sort of the space and how we keep the idea. It's a lot of people just talking to each other, so how do you keep
Yeah.
that interesting, right? So we're just like, okay, well, what can we do? Let's take the body cam off for this scene and do, kind of do different things. And I'm really proud that it just kind of is constantly evolving.
How was like doing pre-production on something like that? How was that? That's got to be a bit different, obviously, than kind of the normal stuff that you're used to. What were some of the challenges or different things you found along the way?
Um, I mean, end of the day, you're just looking for your crew, you're looking for your cast, and you're looking for locations. So I wouldn't say it was terribly different. It was just a lot more efficient when we were shooting because, like everything was an overnight. I think there was maybe one day that wasn't, and that was when we were in the underground, because you couldn't see light. And so it was just sort of a matter of shooting it very quickly because every scene had at most two angles, and if you're shooting a normal traditional film, like one scene with two people talking for a couple pages, that could have 10, 15 shots, and this was
Yeah.
only two. So it's like you get it, and once you feel happy with it, you just move on to the next thing because there is no coverage, there's nothing like that. It's just the two cameras. And oftentimes in the movie, because they split up and things happen, there's only one. So it was just like, we never did overtime. It was a 12-day shoot, incredibly efficient. Like no day went more than 10 hours.
It's great.
So yeah, so it was just like a really smooth and efficient shoot from that perspective. And so just like setting it up, it was, we did 3 weeks of 4 days. And so that gave our team just like time to sort of, regroup at the end of the 4 days and try and figure out the next week and all that stuff. Cause our crew was only like 5 or 6 people. So it was,
Love that.
it was just like a super low budget, just like swinging for the fences kind of thing. It was fun. I loved it.
That's awesome. And that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about because amongst some of the filmmakers that I know and ones that work on some bigger stuff like you, um, I could be wrong about this from what I understand. He's like, you keep your crews pretty tight. Like you don't usually work with a really, really big crew as much as you can, right? You like to kind of keep it as lean as possible.
Yeah, we did that on Superhost. Like we had six, and then this was about the same. And yeah, I mean, I love it. It's like, when you're working with people that you know and trust, like when I did
Yeah.
Superhost, it was all guys and girls that I've been working with for forever in Las Vegas. So it was like, like we had like Alfredo Montenegro, who had been on like a zillion projects with me, Chanston Bender, Scott Minchell and Jenny Agidio. And it was just, and Taylor, gosh, why can I not think of his name right now? Taylor, oh God, I shouldn't have even said it. But yeah, Taylor
Well, you
RAC and
said
stuff. And that
Taylor.
was, Yeah, and that was it. And it was just so fun because we were all wearing different hats and doing different things. And I love that where you're just constantly going and you're there for the project. And when you've worked with these people for years and years, um, it's just like very friendly and a very fun time because like there's going to be stresses that happen on any shoot because it's just going to happen. So if you've got a good team of people together, it's just like you can't, it's like summer camp for me. It's just we're all
Yeah.
just like doing, we're in the shit, just like shooting this thing, and it's just this like crazy experience.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Because it's like I feel like it's a conversation I've had a lot, and even thinking about my own stuff. And I'm going to do a film this year, but it was like just that realization of obviously you need to find the right people for the project, but I think that like especially on the independent level, there's kind of this I don't know why, like this default of like more people means better, more people, like okay, let me bring
Totally.
another assistant for that person and different things. And we start working on those projects, it's like everyone means well, but it's it
Hmm.
burns money, it burns time. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's a tough. Again, to what your point is, like it's finding that right crew, finding the right
Yeah.
people that can kind of do double duty the right way and like it and not get mad about it or whatever it is. It's like it's really cool.
It's Taylor Miller, by the way. I
Taylor
shouldn't.
Miller.
I couldn't let that sit. That was driving me nuts. I don't know why. I'm sorry if he sees this. That was a weird thing. We talk frequently. That was just a brain fart while I'm on a camera. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's like Night of the Reaper had a much bigger crew. It was probably like 20 to 25 people on the day, and ultimately, what ends up happening is like a lot of like when I've worked with Clayton so much, and he was the only guy from Vegas on that one, but. Um, there's this small crew at the end of the night, and like everybody just sort of backs up while there's like a small, tighter team that knows exactly. We're all speaking the same language. We're all like in each other's heads, and we're all just able to just do the things that we need because the end of the day is when like all the stress is because you're like, oh
Yeah.
crap, we only have an hour left. We have to do a scene and a half. How do we do that? And all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, boom, and everybody comes together to get through this thing. But yeah, when you have a big crew, it can really slow you down. So when you have that kind of core that you know and you trust and you love, like you can just kind of do it, and it's very efficient. And so that I've been able to do a few movies just like that, and that's super fun. Like I would love to do it again soon
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah, I had watched a oh man, no, I'm 49 years old, so my memory's gone. I've hit my head too many times. But there's God dang it, these great filmmakers, Justin
Benson and yeah,
yes, and Aaron
yeah,
Moorhead.
yeah,
Their last film that they did, I had watched it I think a year ago or whatever, and in the credits at the end of it, they put like, like to making films with friends or something, and it like just
right.
inspired me again. I was
That's
like,
cool.
God dang it, like it's so cool because we're supposed to be having fun, and it is a tough
Totally,
business. It's hard to do,
100%,
but it's
hundred
like
percent.
it's cool to just remember that. Like, you know what? Like, let's go have a good time. They don't have to be monsters.
Yeah.
Speaking well, before we get there, Body Cam it's not out yet on Shutter, is it?
No, it comes out next year, so,
Oh wow,
it's in the kind of festival circuit now, but it'll come out in the first half of next year. I can't say the date yet because of reasons, but, yeah, it sounds like, the PR machine should be starting up sooner than later, so, I mean, it'll be in the first half of the year, earlier
that's
of the
great.
first half,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's so yeah. So if you're watching this come out and get a chance to see it early, it is a really cool found footage movie, and you guys really did create something like special and different. It's really awesome, man. Happy for you.
Cool, thank you.
So now let's pop on over and talk about Night of the Reaper.
Yeah.
That's a bigger one. So how did that one come into? How'd you decide to build that one up?
I mean, I have to go way back, even further than Jurassic World. When I was in the eighth grade, I saw When a Stranger Calls at a birthday party, and it just sort of, it's got this opening 20-minute, cold open that's just like this iconic thing that everybody knows. And when I saw that, it was just like, just one of those, when you watch movies when you're a kid and they just stick with you, and that was
Yeah,
one that really stuck with me. And so when I got into making films and everything, I always wanted to come and do my own kind of babysitter film, but I didn't really have, what's the angle, what's the thing. You've got movies like House of the Devil that came out like 15 years ago, and it kind of perfected just the standard babysitter type of film. And so I wanted to do something that was maybe like that, but a little bit different. And so my brother and I, back in like 2020, we were talking, and we started to break this idea of this kind of babysitter with a twist thing. And we ended up just while I was shooting Superhost, my brother wrote the opening, which is the cold open with like Emily and the whole, the cold open of the film. And it was really just like pretty close to 100% what we shot 5 years or 4 years later, I guess, because I mean, he just sort of like found the voice of the film immediately. And then we took that and we started to develop it and build it and build it. And it took, probably 2 to 3 years to finish it and get it to where it needed to be. And yeah, we just finally got the opportunity last year, and got to go to production, and it was a much different one than Body Cam for sure. It was much larger, and we had more pieces, and but it was great. It was a super fun shoot. Like we had great cast, great crew. It was nice to shoot at home again, which was really fun. So, and my son's in it, so that was awesome
That's
too. So
amazing,
he's
man. Yeah, I wanted
turned
to
into
bring
a
that
little
up. That
actor. Yeah.
how old is he? Or how old was
He
he when you
just
shot?
he was just freshly 10. Now he's 11.
That's amazing. Yeah, he was great in it too. He's really
Yeah.
good. That's I got a 6-year-old son, and my son loves everything horror because
Oh
everything in my
wow.
office and everything he's grown up around, and he's only 6,
Sure.
but it's like he's constantly trying to sneak in and watch and try to, Dad, can we watch Friday 13th? I was like, no,
Wow.
no. Like I'm trying to I showed him Monster Squad,
Cool.
which I don't know was really appropriate. I'm trying to remember back when I was a kid at what age I watched all these things. I know it was too
Right.
young too, but
Sure.
I'm trying to be as responsible as possible.
That's funny.
But yeah, when I saw you put your son in that, I was like, that's amazing, man. How cool.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it was a cool, he was there for like 6 days and just um it was his first time being on a professional set. Like I'd shot little short films and stuff with him, and I knew he could do it. It was just a matter of like, can he handle sort of a ton of people watching and like hitting marks and doing all that stuff,
yeah.
which is a little bit more technical. And at the beginning, it was a little dicey, where he's not hitting marks, he's not doing the things, and the first scene was kind of tough, but you kind of look around and you're like, oh shit, everyone's looking at me because it's like a nepo baby
Right.
situation, and he's only here because he's my kid, and like partially true, but very quickly he figured it out, and he became just like an actor on set. Like no one, it would like that kind of kid actor thing fell away pretty quickly,
That's
and yeah, now he's booking
Is that what he
stuff,
wants? Does he
and
like acting? Does he want to do
yeah,
more of it? Yeah. That's
yeah, he's
really
done.
cool.
Yeah, he's doing a play this winter. He's playing Tiny Tim for
Oh
this big
wow.
theater. Yeah, he did it last year too, and it's like fully paid. He's gonna miss like 2 months of school doing it. It's
Oh, that's
uh, it's
amazing.
pretty, it's pretty insane. Yeah, and so he's doing that again, and that starts tomorrow. So that'll be fun.
That's cool. So, quick, I had a question about the writing. You said you and your brother. Have you
Mhm.
guys most of your movies? And correct me if I'm wrong. I just can't remember. But you write most of them, don't you? And has it
Yeah,
mostly,
we
well, if
write
not all of
together.
them?
Yeah, the first two I did Z and Stillborn, I wrote with another guy, Colin, and then Superhost I wrote fully alone, and then the last four or three, sorry, that I've directed, they've all been co-writing with my brother.
That's awesome. How did that? How did you guys? How did he end up? Was he was a filmmaker too, or wanted to be, or a writer?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a film guy, but he's always written long form stuff. Like he's written a lot of novels and stuff like that. Like that's where his focus has been. But he's a great writer, so we would always talk about stuff. And like he threw some ideas in on Superhost. And then while I was shooting Superhost, like I said, like he just sort of we had this conversation about a babysitter film. And he just sort of took the reins and ran with it and wrote that cold open. And so it was just like, oh, like let's, maybe we can do this and we can build on it. Now we're working on another film right now that we're writing, and we meet up once or twice a week, and I just go to his house and we just sit and spit out ideas and see what happens. And it's yeah, super collaborative and very efficient,
That's
which is
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I've always like I remember growing up. You'd see like brothers and family members that made
Hmm.
movies together, and I was like always. I have an older brother, but he has no interest in all that stuff. And I was like, man, I wish I had a brother that could to do that stuff. So I always love seeing like with family. That's a cool thing. It's very cool. Um, a question about Night of the Reaper. When he was writing it, like from the beginning, did you guys plan for it to be kind of a period stylistic?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I grew up. He grew up. He was born in '80. I was born in '85, and so I mean, like, we're very familiar with that period, and we have home videos from like the early '80s and the mid '80s and all this stuff, and so we both have um, a very nostalgic bug in us, and so I think when you're writing something like this, like if it was a 2025 film or 2024 film, whatever, it just changes how every scene in that movie would work. So we kind of
Right.
wanted to take it to this more pure time in place when like all these slasher movies were made, and it's just sort of tapping into a time when you couldn't just use your cell phone or anything like that. You're not doing like, oh no, I'm out of service, just to write it out. You have
Right.
to, we just sort of like took it back to basics and just made it like, okay, there's the home invasion movie, there's a babysitter, there's all these things happening, and what does that feel like? And can we capture that feeling when you're doing an independent, it's not a huge budget, but can we kind of make it look like the period that I remember and what my home videos look like and stuff like that? So that's where like a lot of the focus went, was just really kind of authentically capture that time.
But you guys did an excellent job, and that's a very tough thing to do,
Yeah.
especially like on a well, on any budget really. I mean, but it's
Yeah.
like it's on a lower budget, it's very hard, and that's I was thinking about when I was watching it. I was like, because it looks great. Like Clayton shot it, like the colors, everything
Hmm.
involved, the shots, and then all the set design and everything. And it's one of those things that I think audiences that don't understand filmmaking, so you just take it for granted when you're watching it. Like, oh yeah, it's
Right.
just what it looks like. But that's
Sure.
that's a lot to kind of take on.
Yeah.
Were
And
you a
when
little
you're,
bit worried about that starting? Like, was that a
yeah, no, that was the scariest part of the whole thing. Like finding the locations was everything. If you've got Hollywood money, you can just build everything. Like
yeah?
the houses would all be sets and you just dial it in perfectly. But when you have to rely on like Facebook Marketplace and just the locations that they are, you end up seeing a lot more locations than you normally would, because you just like you walk into something and it's like, oh god, like this whole side of the room is totally modern. Like do we dress this down? How do we do this? And so you just keep the look going until you find a place that has an owner that like hasn't really done that much work on it in 50 years, and that's
Right,
like, that's really tough, because when you're doing 80s, like you don't want it to be stuff built in the 80s, you want it to be built in the 60s so that it
right,
feels lived in by the time someone moved in, because it's just there's a big difference between like built in the 80s and actually what the 80s looked like. So yeah, I was just trying to like find those places. Unfortunately, we found, a few houses that were pretty much, turnkey, and we only had to do some like light dressing on them. But yeah, it would have going into it, like that was this by far the scariest part, was like, how are we going to be able to do this? And like the production design team, all of us, we were just like, everyone hands on deck, like let's wallpaper. That's kind of like the secret. It's like make sure
right.
everything has wallpaper.
Yeah, when I was watching it the whole time, I kept, just keeping an eye on. I was looking at the background as much as I was enjoying the movie, because I'm just like,
Hmm.
I was very impressed by it, and I know how hard that is to do. Um,
Cool.
and your point was interesting too about like when you're looking for '80s stuff, it's like don't look for a house that was built in
Yeah.
1989. You gotta look for a
Right.
house that's that
Totally.
makes sense. That's awesome, man. Um, so what else you got going on right now? Are you working on any other projects? Coming up
Um,
or
I mean, it's been kind of weird because since I shot Puppet Man in 2022, I'd kind of been in a leapfrogging post production in different films. Like I shot Puppet Man, and while I was doing the sound mix on that, I shot Body Cam, and then while I was in post on that, I shot Reaper, and then Reaper and Body Cam both finished this July, and so it was just kind of like this giant anchor just released from me. And so for the last few months, we've just been like writing new scripts, and I've got my brother and I have got a couple out there looking for financing right now, and then we're working on another one that we're just sort of in the early stages of breaking the script and everything down. But we're just kind of like trying to generate as much as we can, because you never know which one's going to pop next. But I'm hoping to get back on set next year.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you do amazing stuff, man. I speaking of things that have have a leave an impact on you.
Hmm.
Um, your movie, your short film you did a long time ago with like the car accident. I can't. I think it
Mm.
was a film, or was it like a
Black
series of
Ice.
Black Ice? When
Yeah, the
you
old
made that
Tyler stuff.
movie, I hadn't met you. I didn't know you or anything, but it was like that was me starting kind of like my little journey into filmmaking, trying to meet certain
Sure.
people. And I remember seeing that on, I don't know, Facebook or wherever it popped up in our
Hmm.
circles. And I was like, holy shit, man, this guy is talented. Like, this is incredible. Like, this is something else.
That's
And,
funny. Yeah, that was a total nightmare. I mean, that was like I learned so much because that was before I'd done a feature, and I had to like I didn't know VFX that well yet. I didn't know so many things, and we shot it in Mount Charleston, which is not a snowy place, but it can be. And we
yeah,
shot it in January, and it was snowy when we did all our like prep work. And then the weekend, like the actors came in from LA and all the stuff, and it was a 2-day shoot. Everything melted, and so it was like it's no long it's a movie about ice, it's got to be snowy. And so I like literally every single shot in that short film, and it's like 10 minutes long, is a visual effect shot, because like I had to paint snow into every single frame of that thing. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I could do a better job now, but back then it was like, it was very eye-opening of how much you can do with visual effects and stuff like that, like even on a no budget thing. um and I did all of it pretty much myself. That it was just like a great learning experience, and I got to take that to the features that I do now, and now I do all their VFX too.
Oh, do you do the VFX on them too? I
Yeah,
didn't know that. That's amazing, man.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool. And you self-taught yourself kind of all that stuff
yeah.
along the way? Yeah.
Yeah, just sort of online tutorials, and I just shoot things for the purpose of doing, like, learning how to do a visual effects shot on it. Yeah, and that, like, now I get hired all the time from just like other filmmakers for their VFX. Like, I've probably done 25 different films now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like a little side hustle that I do, but it's been cool because I meet a lot of, cool people, and work with a lot of weird random projects that,
Yeah.
you wouldn't normally be involved with, and it's cool. You're just like, "Oh, shit, I worked on that."
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, you guys, unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to make it out to the festival.
I know.
But hey, we love having your films, and we always love supporting you. And I know Clayton's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Clayton's the DP on both the films, and a great guy, a talented guy as
Yeah.
well. So anybody that's kind of watching, please come out and check him out. Do you have any other friends or family locally, or any of the actors, or any of them
Ye
local?
None of the actors, but there's a lot of friends just from when I lived there for so long. I'll definitely be telling everybody that I know to come. But yeah, no, it's a total bummer. Like, I wanted to come, but the flights are like $1,800 now
It's
for
crazy.
that
Yeah, it's
one few
insane.
day period. Every other day, or like go the next week, it's like back to like 300-400 bucks, and I'm like, I would have, but it's yeah, it's just it's
I don't know what's going on in the town if there's, because I also looked at like the Palm. I was going to just get a room so I could stay there during the festival,
hmm
and it was also like double price that. And when we picked this week for the festival, we try to kind of like not
right.
be during something big, so everything's more expensive. So I really still don't know what came up and why
Yeah.
everything's overpriced that week. But
F1 is the next week, I think, right? Like, or it's beforehand or something. It's not a conflict, so I don't know
no, I don't
either.
think
It's
it
really
is either.
weird.
So yeah, I don't really know what it is, but I don't know. That's that's Vegas. There's always
Yeah,
the fluctuation in prices. It's super
I
cheap
know.
or super expensive.
I know. If you push it a
Uh,
week, I'll be there. But I know
well,
that's not a
we'll
thing
do another screening if you want to come out sometime. We'll set
for
up one.
sure. Yeah, how many years have you guys been going now? Is this like six, seven?
This is our eighth year.
Oh,
We
eight.
started in
Wow.
2017.
Okay.
And we took last year off. Just kind of
Oh,
some of the
okay.
founders and things. Kind of it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
and so this year I brought in a few new people. They're
hmm
amazing. Hava from Damn Short Film Festival, and Mel Hartley, and Barry
Cool.
Joe. They're all just really great. So we're back, and we're trying to kind of see if we can build it up even bigger and keep it going.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
awesome. Yeah, it's always been fun. You guys have always been super welcoming, so it's a
thank
huge
you.
bummer that I can't be there this time. Unless the
Oh.
flights drop randomly, and then I could just get on a last minute flight,
Well,
which I'm
I
gonna
hope.
keep watching. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for it, so we'll see.
Well, that'd be an awesome surprise. Well, man, I'm super happy for you. You're an incredible filmmaker. Always love watching your stuff and chatting with
Thanks,
you.
man.
And after we are done with the festival, I'd love to have you back on Creep Popcorn and going to like talk about all your movies, because I feel
For
like
sure.
I know people know who you are, but it's like you've put out a really impressive resume of movies, and like it's I know it's not I know it's tough being a filmmaker, getting into work and do stuff
Yeah.
regularly, and you do incredible stuff, man.
Thank you. It's very sweet of you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Well, thanks for popping in. I'm gonna
hmm
go take a little break and then get our next guest on. And but yeah, if you have any other friends, also that's what I'm going to tell you. If anybody else locally you want out, let me know. I'm happy to give them
Okay.
tickets. And anybody watching right now, I do have some free passes. So shoot us a message on Facebook, and we'll give you free passes.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Brandon. Take care, buddy.
Later.
All right. So our next guest that's coming on is going to be Tom Devlin. We had Seth for 220. Actually, I just saw that he canceled. He wasn't able to come. But I do want to talk about Seth's movie, The Rose. So Seth's movie, The Rose, plays on. Apologize. Hold on one second. Their movie is on Saturday, and it's a really interesting movie. It's a very cool movie with the little girl kind of being chased through these corn rows by these killers, and there's more to it than that. But it was a very interesting film, and Seth is an incredible director, and so we look forward to chatting with him next time. But I wanted to kind of give his movie a plug and chat about it for a minute. So it's definitely worth coming in and checking out. Sorry, I was getting okay. Mel was shooting me a message. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Let me see if I can get if Tom's available and he can hop on a little early. No pressure, Tom, if you are listening. But yeah, what else we want to chat about? Hold on. If you want to pop on early, you can. Okay. I don't know for those of you that haven't seen Brandon Christensen's movies, or if you have, but check out his filmography, man. He's got a lot of cool movies, and they all end up on Shudder, which has some really cool films. Yeah, no, yeah, big fan of his, and like for you guys to check him out. If anyone's in the chat and has any questions, wants to chat about the film festival, let me know, and we will hang out for a minute while we wait for Tom to join us. But he's about 20 minutes out. Let me look on over at Facebook and let me see if we got into. Nope, not yet. All right. I'm going to take a quick pause and run and grab a quick refill of my water, and I'll be back in just a minute. So stay tuned, and then we'll have Tom Devlin on. Hello again, guys. I wanted to add a couple of graphics and talk about the two movies where we weren't able to bring the filmmakers on today. Kind of show you just a little bit about them. So, moment. If anybody's out there watching and has any questions, if you have any questions about film festivals, about filmmaking, feel free to ask. Oftentimes, having a film festival, I get a lot of questions from filmmakers about, I don't know, what we look for, how we program, what goes into it. And I will say this, that once I got into the side of the film, when we decided to make a film festival, it was, we wanted to help celebrate everybody's work, and excited to meet new people and new filmmakers and talk about films and all the cool things that, you get to do. The thing I had not anticipated was how hard it would be to program the festival. And when I say that, I mean, like, it's, I'm a filmmaker that has made some films and submitted to film festivals and been turned down, accepted a few times too. But it's like, I know it's so crushing when you get turned down, and it's like, especially the system is just such a, it's such a hard system, because it's like you have to submit and you got to wait 3 or 4 months or even longer sometimes to hear. And, you're excited. You want to get your movie out there. You want people to watch it and enjoy it. And, you believe in it and everything. And then getting that email when you're like, oh, it's time. Should we get my announcement here in the next day or two? I remember like looking at my phone and waiting for the email to come through, and then you see the email, click on it, and it's like, we're sorry, we regret to inform you. And it's just like, it's so crushing. And so it's always one of the hardest things for us to do. One of the things we really, really, I guess, despise, just being part of the film festival process, but it's just the nature of the beast. And, sometimes it's just movies aren't up to par. They're not quite, the quality's not there. It's not, and that's not a knock on anything. It's like making films and independent filmmaking is a journey takes a long time to get really good at it. And I think even the best of us, or the best that are out there, it's like they're always perfecting their craft. So it's okay if, the film is not, if it doesn't get accepted, even based on its merit, on its quality not quite being there. But then the other side of it is that we get hundreds of submissions, and there's only a certain amount of time that we can screen. There's only, even within that, sometimes it's like, if you have so much good stuff, it's like now it's between like trying to create an experience for the people to come out and watch stuff, and not, if there's two features that are very much alike and kind of, both pretty good, but like, and you have other stuff that's really kind of original or different, there's so many factors that go into how you choose the movies that you screen at your film festival. And, oftentimes, like I said, it's the hardest thing is picking them. We're always proud of the selections that we do. But the last thing that we ever want is discourage a filmmaker, from, submitting their films or continuing to make films, because filmmaking is a tough world, and it's there's a lot of you have to get thick skin when you decide to be a filmmaker. I remember when I first started, I was very nervous about, I was writing my first script, and I was like, it was something I wanted to do my whole life. And when I finally, it was like, okay, I'm gonna write this thing. And I was very much like, oh my God, somebody's going to read this and then they're going to make fun of me. They're going to, people are going to, but you can't get good at it without doing it. And so it's like, as a filmmaker, you really are forced to, put yourself out there, and the world is a mean place sometimes, especially, go to YouTube, go to the comments here on Creepy Popcorn. 2 of my features played, the 2 first movies that I made, my 2 movies, Underneath and Monster Among Men. And I'm proud of both of them, but they're both full of, mistakes that I made and lessons that I learned. But there'll be comments in there about, how bad they suck or whatever else it is. And that's just part of the process. Actually, I laugh at them mostly now, but, yeah, back to kind of what I was trying to get at was that, the selection process for films for our festival is one that we take very seriously and we care about very much. It's not lost on us, when we have to tell somebody that we can't show their film. We get the disappointment. And this year I tried to reach out to all the local people to bring them on, to have them come out, because it wasn't, it's not, there's a lot of different reasons. And ultimately it's like, we're here to try to help encourage more filmmakers to make more movies and keep growing and want to help them have a platform and place to share their work and talk about other people and meet other people. So yeah, that's what the film festival process is for us. Let's see. Going to show. So the two films that we're not going to have our filmmakers joining us today is The Rose and then Kill Me Again. So The Rose I started to talk about a little bit earlier. I'll find a little graphic that I can share with you guys. I don't have what do you call it? I don't have trailers for these movies yet because some of them are pretty far away from getting out there and being on on streaming or anything like that. So I did make some graphics though. So give me just 1 second and see if I can find them. All right. Actually, since I have this one first, I'll pull it up. This movie is called Kill Me Again, and it was directed by let's see if it's coming up. There we go. All right. Yep. It's called Kill Me Again, and it was directed by Keith Jardine, who was a former UFC fighter. I used to watch fight and really enjoyed watching him. And he, I believe this is his feature film debut as a director. He plays a little part in it, and it's a really cool movie. Really enjoyed it. It plays on Friday, November 7th at 9:15 p.m. Brenden Theaters in the Palms in Las Vegas, Nevada. If anybody from Vegas is around and can check this out, I really recommend coming out and seeing it. It's very cool. Keith is going to be at the screening. Do a little Q&A afterwards. So since no wasn't able to join us today, if you're here in town and you come out to the screening, you can watch it with him and chat with him about it. It says Charlie, a notorious serial killer known as the Midnight Mangler, finds himself trapped, reliving the same violent night over and over. Initially embracing his grisly urges, Charlie soon becomes desperate to escape the endless nightmare. Yeah, it's a very cool movie. It's kind of one of those Groundhog Day type things where it just, but it's I've never imagined it done in this with this setup and this type of thing. And the acting is great, and the directing is great. Everything about the film is very, very cool and very entertaining. So, definitely take a look at that one. Oh, looks like I got Tom Devlin peeking in here, so we will have him join in just a moment. Go down to our two filmmaker. Tom, I think you can hear me.
You're going this way. I'm going to go that
Oh, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
How you doing? We got you on live now.
Cool. Are you good?
This is Tom Devlin. Tom is a director and a makeup effects artist and I'm always afraid to say that word, Tom.
What? I put the fear in you.
You put the fear in me, man.
But you hit it right. You hit it right. Makeup effects artist, not a
yeah. I'm always afraid it's just going to come out like a special effects guy.
I don't blow up cars. I make monsters.
That's right. No, yeah, he's an amazing makeup effects artist that's worked on, I don't know, a million different cool things. We were just down at his Monster Museum last week. They put up this poster of all the work that he's done, all the movies that he's worked on and shows, and it's incredible. And that'll save that for another day, but we've got to talk about all those today. But today, we're here to talk about your new movie, Bloody Bluff.
We're a little bit early. I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah, well, we got time. One of the people wasn't able to make it. He was traveling. One of the filmmakers.
Okay.
So yeah, we can spend all the time we want. Our next guest isn't on till 3:30.
Okay,
I'm not holding you hostage till then, but you can.
No, I'm here. I'm here until you tell me to leave.
Awesome. So I guess let's just start chatting real quick about Bloody Bluff, and then we'll talk about God knows what else. But how did that one? How'd you decide to make Bloody Bluff? How did it start?
Oh man, Bloody Bluff goes back quite a while. Actually, the original incarnation of Bloody Bluff, I wrote a part for you.
I remember. We did a little read through one night.
We did a cast read through. We were going to make this movie. I have your wardrobe. I have everybody's stuff. The wardrobe was bought, the sets were built, and we were ready to make this movie. The monster was made and everything. I wish I was better with dates, but a year prior to when we made it, we were ready to make it. And I went to a horror convention in, I was at Mad Monster in North Carolina. And this had to be I'd say in July. And then I came back, or while I was there, there was a hurricane that hit the West Coast, which oddly enough didn't seem to affect anything except it destroyed Lee Canyon and Mount Charleston, which is where we were shooting. And we had our campground, for the sets, we had the campground reserved, and we were going to shoot up in the mountains up there. And so I sent my producer Kayla and one of our creature performers, Steve, up the hill to go see if we could go shoot there anyway, and like figured, yeah, it's closed to campers, but maybe we can still make this work. And they had the roads barricaded and everything. They weren't letting anybody up on Lee Canyon. So we came back and had to like instantaneously change our mind. I got back from North Carolina, and on the plane, I wrote a script called Slaughterhouse on the Hill. And we built a set. I got back Sunday night. We built the sets Monday and Tuesday. We shot Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wrapped, did one day of pickup shots, and Slaughterhouse on the Hill was born. But Bloody Bluff was put to the side. And at that time, it was kind of like an 80s, 90s monster movie, a little bit of Pumpkinhead, Little Harry and the Hendersons, with just some fun, almost some Friday the 13th type characters, like your caricatures of different folks running around in the woods away from this monster. It was a whole different thing. I'd actually shot a scene in Arkansas with Butch Patrick for that movie where he plays the park ranger. And, we really were going to make Bloody Bluff. We were ready to do it. So in the off time of not making it, I figured we'll do it next summer when it gets hot. That's the best time to shoot in Mount Charleston. When it's 120 degrees in Las Vegas, we can go up the mountain and it's only 70 degrees.
Yeah, it's nice.
So I was putting it off to the following summer, but while doing that, I started watching those prequels to Yellowstone, like 1888 or whatever. I don't remember the.
Yeah.
I can never hit the numbers.
I don't remember.
I hit the numbers right. I wish they just called it like Yellowstone before, or something,
Right.
But I started watching the one with the pioneers going across the Oregon Trail and whatnot, and I got super stoked about period pieces. So I was like, scrap Bloody Bluff. We're going to make Bloody Bluff. There is going to be a Sasquatch movie, but it's going to be a period piece. And we're going to set it in the, settlers times, in the colonial times. And
so that was really kind of that was the reason why you decided to do that, was just like.
Yeah, I was real hyped on watching that Yellowstone prequel. And I just thought, like, man, I love movies like Ravenous. Have you ever seen Ravenous?
Oh, I love Ravenous.
And it's a period piece, and I love Cannibal the Musical, the Alfred Packard story by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And I just thought, man, this would be so fun to have black powder muskets and stuff. Like, you can't just kill this Sasquatch because you're not equipped right. And then by putting it in the period piece, my imagination went, and we added witches and lore and all this stuff. And next thing you know, I'm making like a bonkers 80s. This is a very, you went to Mr. Video or Video USA and you picked up this tape and we're like, oh yeah, we'll see what this is. And then it's like Never Ending Story meets Harry and the Hendersons kind of.
That's amazing. I love it. So from the read through that I did on that script, how much of that script changed? I mean, obviously.
No, that's a sequel now. So that kind of like Yellowstone, like oddly enough, the characters in my early movie will be related to the characters because we use the same cast for the most part.
Oh, okay.
People show up. So even sticking Butch in there, so because I know I already shot him, we'll have, it'll be the kind of that American Horror Story thing, right? Like where it's the same. Right. And I think there will be lineage. Like this is the settler version. Jason Wallace plays a character named Jacques, who's clearly a French trapper. But like in the script you read, Jason Wallace's character was based on, in Harry and the Hendersons, the guy that's a Bigfoot hunter, whose name is Jacques, actually.
Right.
But, so like that will be his great ancestor, you know, and the reason that the monster is able to come back is because what Ashley's character and Jason Wallace's character has done to finalize our movie will be undone by the lineage, by the relatives 100 years later, and that's why the monster comes back. So your script is still going, hopefully, knock on something, it will get made, and I still want you and Justin bumbling around in the woods.
Yeah.
But that is a sequel to Bloody Bluff. That is like the return of Bloody Bluff, you know, or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
100 years later. We also talked about doing like one prior to it, because that movie is pretty modern, like, you know, could be today, could be the 80s, could be 90s, but we're talking about doing one in like, you know, before cell phones and stuff, like the 60s or something, you know, like
cool.
or greaser days, like the 50s, something, you know, we've created this thing where like every 100 years maybe this thing comes back or whatever.
That's very cool. Yeah, I don't want to spoil any of those things, but it's I love the idea of like you know, setting it throughout time. The cool thing about doing like a period piece when you're playing in the woods, it's not quite as challenging as
Right.
I mean, yours probably was. You went a little bit, I think, a little heavier, but like, you know, the 60s in the woods just takes a couple of cars and outfits.
And I think that's kind of true for all of it. Like I don't know, maybe the sequel is a almost, you know, maybe it goes through time to sell that. Like it starts in the 60s prior to the credits, then we get a little 80s flavor, and then our main story. Because, you know, that script was a little short too. This is something I've done over and over with my filmmaking, and I am trying so much better to make that script just a little bit longer, to get the page count a little bit higher, and be able to deliver something that's closer to 90 minutes than 70 minutes, you know.
I still think 75 minutes is a very nice sweet spot for indie horror. Like I think it's like, I mean, anything works, but it's like, you know, when you start hitting like that 90-minute mark, once you get past it, it's you know, everybody's attention span just keeps shrinking a little more.
Right.
And even as much as mine does, I still love watching 2-3 hour movies. It's just, you know, there's something to be said for fun movies and just, you know, hitting the right sweet spot of their time.
And I feel like we do that, but even it's still a stretch to get there. There's still just
That's
little
the hard
walking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and that's a tough part when you're sitting in your edit and it's like 64 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm
oh,
like,
Jesus.
I know that credit scene can be 3 minutes, so those credits will roll. We did a fun thing, I think it was on a movie I did called My Name is Gacy that has not come out yet. But we made fake credits because the crew was too small. So I put like 150 like, you know, second best boy, and I just made up a tremendous amount of positions as if there was location scouts, and
just to add a couple minutes to the runtime.
Yeah, more just comedy's sake, because actually the credits go by real fast, but
Okay.
it's full, and I just didn't want those full. We have like a 3-minute punk song that plays while it goes through. I didn't just want like Corey Clear, Tom Devlin, Lola Wallace,
Yeah.
you know, and a cast of 5 people: John Ward and John Carey. Done. But no, so we made up all these kind of. I just think it's funny, and then like IMDb was like contesting a bunch of it, which is really funny.
Oh, really? Because you put all those fake credits in there?
They didn't have pages and stuff. Like it was like Abigail Wintersport was the assistant, you know.
That's awesome. So for those people that are out there, you know, that watch this or whatever, if they haven't seen your movies, how would you kind of describe your movies?
I've kind of decided that I call them 4-chord punk rock filmmaking. So
Okay.
it's stripped down to its simplest form. If you can think about the Ramones or the Cramps, like, yeah, there's other bands that are way more technical, but the Ramones and the Cramps are really fun. The Misfits are fun, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what we do. We
Operation Ivy, does that fall in the same kind of?
100%. I feel like we are filmmaking Operation Ivy, you know.
Because those punk bands, there's something about them too. I think that's what you're getting at. Is like, I grew up on punk too, but it was like the ones that were the simplest. Maybe as you said, the 4-chord thing. It's like no matter what, the whole CD is amazing. Like everything is just so kind of like
The crazy thing,
flowy.
you look at the biggest artists, like these guys that have this lasting lineage, like Green Day and Blink-182. It's the simplest music.
Yeah, yeah.
Superstars. They're mega superstars. And that's not what I'm trying to achieve with my filmmaking, but I like to keep it at its simplest root, fun. And I just want it to be fun, entertaining. I don't want there to be a lot of downtime. I don't like to make a movie where somebody finds a moment to pick up and look at their phone, which is hard with ad-based revenue, because when you have ad-based revenue going on, the AVOD, that's they pick their phone up, and that's where I lose them. So it's tough, man.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough getting it's tough being an independent filmmaker. It's tough getting the movies out there. The spread right now, we chat about it too, but it's like you can watch movies in 1,000 different places today in 1,000 different ways. And so it's like, finding your audience and kind of getting them in front of your stuff and then keeping them there is a challenge.
I can guarantee anybody that shows up to the Sin City Horror Fest, when they sit down and watch a Tom Devlin movie, they'll be excited from the beginning to the end. Like, there's no time to get bored. And that's why showing them in theaters is so important. And I always come after you, like, we got to do a screening. I want to show this. I think I hound you enough that that we get our movies in, and then next thing you know, like, I get people that actually watch them. And then I try to get as many people to come that will do reviews too, because that's the review you want. Not somebody that watched it on Tubi. I want somebody to watch it in the with that energy, the energy of the audience, and it's just like a punk band. Like, you can listen to that all day long, but if you go see them live, you're gonna tell all your friends.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience. Yeah, watching those movies, and especially movies like that you make, is like they're meant to be fun. They're a lot of fun. Like, there's like, I love all kinds of films and deep, slow stuff too. But it's like going to see movies in the movie theater that are like full of just fun and some gore and all the silliness of like the horror stuff that we grew up on and love. Yeah, like that's what they're made to be. They're made to be watched in groups and have a good time, enjoying it all.
I'll tell you, with doing the period piece on an extremely low budget, I was so gung ho. I never thought one way or another. And then we're editing this movie, and I was like, what if we just turned off it? What if we just made the biggest mistake ever? We could have just had guys in flannel shirts and in the woods, but nope. Had to have ruffly collars, fancy petticoats, and
where did you get all that costuming from? What did you kind of
basically LARPing in the woods? You know what? I got some of it. We had I recycle a lot of stuff, so we made a movie called The After Dark, and there was some ruffly shirts there. So some of it we had, some of it we purchased on Amazon or wherever, thrift stores, and then my buddy Corey, who's our DP, used to do live action role playing of like I don't know. They would. I'm going to get the wrong period. I don't think it was the Revolutionary War. It was something. But they go out there and they make fires and they wear the garb and they use the black powder guns. So a lot of the rifles are real. Jason Wallace's grandfather's rifle was his, and that's a real black powder gun. And
oh wow,
yeah, I think all the rifles are real. Some of the pistols are fake, just off Amazon or whatever. But we bought a lot of stuff and we returned a lot of stuff.
Don't listen to that, Amazon.
Shoot a movie in 5 days, you can return a lot of things.
Is that what you guys shot that one on? Was 5 days?
Yeah, I think every Plan 10 movie is just about 5 days. 5 days pickup days usually. And so the pickup days we did for this pretty quick. We didn't wait super long. Although one of them, I guess I wouldn't even call it a pickup day. We did 2 pickup shots while editing of death scenes, and that we didn't get up in the.
And we talked a little bit about
in the woods was much more difficult than I thought. Being out of service, out of up in the high altitude, we had a lot of altitude sickness, and that was I just never. I was like, you wusses, what's going on?
It's just something you never think about. You never imagine that it's.
But also, like, our generator didn't run right because of the altitude. The carburetor was not jetted correctly. So I had solar power, but it only we're charging all of our batteries, all of our lights, all of our camera gear all off of Harbor Freight solar panels. So it was definitely a difficult task. I felt like this one really kicked the butts of everybody around me. I didn't feel as affected as everybody else, but I felt like Kayla, my producer, Steve, our monster, we had huge problems with altitude sickness, but he's also like 6 foot something. He was higher than me, I guess.
Right. Yes. That's where we have it better. Being a nice little
We're
solid
grounded.
5'8", 5'7", wherever I am today. Don't have to worry about that. Yeah. So when you shoot these movies in 5 days, kind of what's for people that don't know you, like why 5 days? What's the?
Well, I've worked on movies for a long time, and honestly, I'm over it after 5 days. I don't want to have a weekend and come back and keep. That's just not. But I like to keep it fun and exciting. Also, our friends all have to take off from work for this, and I can't ask there for 15, 20 days, whatever. I'd say the sweet spot of an independent film is 12 days. 12 days is like perfect schedule. 6 days on, 2 days off, 6 days on, or 1 day off. But our movies are really affordable, I will say. So the money can't stretch much further. I like 5 days to me is like perfect. And then it gives me 2 days of pickup shots down the road if I need them. That's just kind of, it takes a lot. Like we're hyper organized in pre-production, getting our shot list and schedule and storyboards together, because I think it's really important to know exactly what you're doing when you get out there. Yeah. I hear so many people are like, I made a shot list, but I threw it away on day one. And I'm like, well, that might have been your mistake. Like you got to come up with that shot. Not everybody works the same as me.
Yeah. But
I watch the movie behind my eyes while I'm writing it. And when I'm doing that, I don't write the shots into my script or anything, but I draw out.
You know what you're seeing, yeah.
I know what I want. Like I watch that movie as if I'm watching it in a theater in an audience's perspective. So early in my career, I really struggled with coverage because I don't care about the 2 shot and the wide shot and this and that. I don't. But when it comes to the effects or the stunt or that really cool prop I made, I know exactly how I want it shot. Yeah. But throughout my filmmaking process, I'd say after my second movie, which was Las Vegas Frankenstein that I directed, from that point on, I knew all the coverage I want because I understand I need to fill up that 73 minutes. So
yeah,
I don't do unnecessary takes. This is something that's was very funny when I first started directing, but now it's become common law in the Plan 10 world is I do 3 takes. You get 3 takes. You get, if you can't hit it in those 3 takes, if you're not going to give me your best, I'll move on anyway, because kind of like my artwork, like you've been to the Monster Museum, I make a lot of that stuff out of recycled stuff, things that were donated, just garbage I find that makes sense for making a Myers house out of.
Right.
I like doing that with filmmaking too. So if I only give them 3 takes and I don't get their best, I thrive on making things work with what I have. So I like to take could we have gotten it better if we sat there for another 40 minutes trying to get that look that I wanted or the spin in the circle that I wanted? Maybe, but then we would have not made our day, and I shoot 17 pages a day or 11 to 17 pages a day. So,
well, also kind of to that point, and I want to say this the right way because I don't want to sound like I'm insulting, but it's like you also, like all filmmakers, it's like you need to be aware of what you're making, right? Like if you're making fun movies with, like fun characters and different things, nailing everything perfectly is not as important as it is when you're making like a drama with deep, performances that like have to feel real. So it's like,
I heard a quote, Mike Pfeiffer, who's one of my mentors. He was a filmmaker that hired me early in my career as an effects artist. I worked with him very early in my career. I did a ton of movies with Mike Pfeiffer, and his father, who just passed recently, was Jerry Pfeiffer, legendary horror filmmaker, responsible for all the witch witchcraft movies, like Witchcraft 1 through 13. He asked me one time, he said, as a director, he said, would you rather get the perfect take or get something that's good enough? And I looked at him for a little too long because I knew this was a trick question. And he was like, if you fight for the perfect take, you're never going to finish your job. But if you get good enough takes, you can make the perfect movie. And that's true, man. Like, you look at a movie like Clerks, and whether you like Clerks or not, you can't say it's not a perfect movie. That movie has stood the test of time and built careers.
Right.
None of it's perfect. It was just put together perfectly, you know.
And it's very much throughout that entire movie. It's one consistent experience. It's one,
Right.
you know, it's like, regardless of and I love Clerks and I love Kevin Smith, but it's like, regardless of how you feel about anything, it being black and white. Yeah. It's like everything is exactly as it's meant to be. And that's kind of like
perfect, but just because it worked. It all worked together. And I think about that a lot. Like when I'm making a movie, and like I said, it was kind of a joke that I only give 3 takes, but then it works, man. For me, for my style, it works because I get the best performance at them because they know I'm not full of shit too. Like,
have you moved on? Do you have like you don't have to name a name, but has there been like a moment where someone was like, "Man, I need one more," and you're like, "Sorry, it's time to go"?
If I felt it was going to affect the if it was going to affect the energy on set, I'd give them another one 100%. Right. First and foremost, we all have to be having fun all the time. I do not plan 10 pictures if you've visited set before, but I don't have a movie set where anybody wishes they were somewhere else. Right. Like, that's number one goal, because I've worked on too many asylum movies, too much independent films that they're putting their whole life into. And it's so important to the filmmaker that he's not responsible for the cast and crew's happiness. Like, I'll tell you what, if local Vegas guys, the Mahals, for the most part, everybody is stoked on those movies. Everybody's having a And I really enjoy that. But like, I've been on films where I'm literally living my dream, working with my heroes, and nobody wants to be there. You know, that I never want that. So of course, if somebody was like, can I just please have another? Yeah, of course. Sure.
Right. But it is, I like that you do that. And we talked about that in the past.
Really funny. I have done that and not rolled on it.
And they never knew the difference.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is like, it's such an important thing. It's such an interesting thing to remember, because it seems like it shouldn't have to even be said, but is to have fun making these things. It's like,
you got fun.
If you're not having any fun, why are you doing it?
Product. You can see how much fun somebody had in the end product.
Yeah.
You know? And you can see how much fun they didn't have in the end product. I can tell you the reason I don't love, oh my God, I'm going to forget Sean Patrick Flannery movie, notoriously terrible time.
Boondock Saints?
Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
I love Boondock Saints, but I think it's because you can tell nobody on that movie is having fun.
Well, when you hear those stories too, as like a fan, it does. I love Boondock Saints too. When it came out, I remember I loved that movie.
Better than the movie.
What's that?
The documentary about it was better than the movie.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
Oh, because it's awesome.
When I heard how much everyone, like, I was like, it kind of just took the fun out of that movie for me, and I didn't really watch it again. And it's like, I think even fans feel that stuff too, to your point.
Watch a movie like Dusk Till Dawn, where they were all having so much fun, and they had trials and tribulations. That's the other thing. When I talk about how fun our movies are, I'm not saying they're easy. There's nothing easy. Because I get that a lot. Like, oh, it must blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. Let me reiterate. There is nothing easy about making a movie in 5 days. But keeping that fun is number one important, because you watch a movie like Dusk Till Dawn, those guys had the unions coming down, they had to move locations, they had to do all kinds of stuff, but they all were so stoked, and you can see it in the footage, man. You can see that in the movie.
Well, and anytime you listen to Robert Rodriguez talk, you just feel it. It's
Yeah.
like he's like one of my favorite people to listen to talk because of
Huge influence. If any,
Hava says, Tom, love is passion.
you got to read Rebel Without a Crew, because that is,
Yeah.
and that's where I learned the like watching that movie for myself and knowing my shots. Robert Rodriguez was working with short ends on film. You didn't have time to do 100 takes. Like, he shot his coverage in order so he didn't waste film. And I think, yeah, we could do whatever we want on digital. Everybody's like, it's digital, let it go, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely not. Like, on our film shoots, we're typically working with the Blackmagic or this new Canon we got. But like, I say roll camera, that's when we roll camera. And when I say cut, we have to cut, because otherwise in editing, you have so much garbage to go through that takes you out of the game. Like, you can't sit there and wonder if the take's going to be good while people are jibber jabbering on because we rolled the camera too soon. Nothing is my bigger pet peeve than when the camera rolls too soon or continues to go. And because otherwise, like, it's just scrubbing through shit to put this movie together, which is my bane of my existence.
Well, and it's another like interesting thing to talk about for like filmmakers who haven't tried to feature yet or wanting to, is like the post-production process. I think is one of the most overlooked on the independent film side. It's like one of the most overlooked and like underprepared, and even I say that, I'm guilty of it. Most of my friends are guilty of it. It's like, we're all so excited, and you do have to be wildly prepared to go out and shoot, which even there, a lot of people are underprepared. Then you go make your project, you do it. But I think all of us are just kind of like, boom, once I get in the can, once it's done, I'll edit it, or my friend will edit, whatever it is you think that you can do. But I've in the spaces that we work in regularly, it's like nobody, even when I work with filmmakers, when I'm like, okay, so you're going to be done shooting in October. When can you turn the film in? And everybody's like, 6 months, a year. Like, everyone just has like some like, and you could tell in that moment, like, and it's that thing. It's like, no, you got to plan for that too. You got to have it,
there's a couple things that have gotten lost in modern independent filmmaking, and you just have to remember people like Robert Rodriguez, Corman, Lloyd Kaufman. When you shoot a day of footage, it is part of our job to watch dailies, and you watch them that night or the morning before you shoot again. You have, because then you'll know if you missed something. You know if they cross the line or their eye line's off, while we're still in that space and we can fix it. You know, it is a filmmaker's responsibility as a director to watch dailies with the cinematographer. If there's something they're doing you don't like, now's the time to address it so it doesn't happen for the rest of the movie. You know what I mean? These are little things that, like, God, I'm going to sound like a prick. The modern independent filmmaker is this guy that's like, I do everything and I'm going to just get it done and blah, 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 blah. But they don't have, I have a massive respect for the jobs and duties of film. I mean, I've worked on film my whole life.
Yeah.
I took on a lot of those hats. And as my like weird micro budget production company, I've created parts that are like combined multiple hats. Like my producer, Kayla, is also a first AD, is also the script supervisor, but she's responsible for all three of those. We don't quit being a first AD or a script supervisor just because she's the line producer as well. That's her job, and it's a lot of work. My job, being the effects supervisor, I have the whole art department is on my back, as well as directing the movie. Those are three huge tasks that I need my camera guy to be the camera guy. Like and as the camera guy, he's also kind of the gaffer, because we don't have a legitimate gaffer. So he's directing lights, and we all take on these tasks, but those tasks are all very important. And I would say that two things that most independent filmmakers don't do, I could go three actually. Number one, storyboards, because in order for me to get what's in my brain to my camera guy, to my actress, I need to show them. I can't just tell them. They don't see it. this is a visual. We're trying to make a picture, not a story. So I need to show them what it looks like. So storyboards, watching dailies is so important. And the days we skip watching dailies, usually miss something. Usually something. So I think it's very important. And then also that shot list. I think the shot list is, I don't know, that's the Bible. That's like what you need. My producer, Kayla, she gives me the schedule of what we're shooting in what days. And I know my shot list to each scene. And then it's a checklist. You get those 17 shots done. Boom. Next scene, and then we really pride ourselves on not, we go 6 hours, eat, and then 6 hours we're done. We never go over 12 hours ever. Like, that's not a thing. Everybody's like, it's the last day. We did 48 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I'm froze.
You're back now. You're moving again. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. I can hear and see you. I'm going to pop you off and then you can jump back in. I think that might be if you can hear me. There we go. Let's see. You there? Can you hear and see me now? I can't hear you now. You're muted.
I don't know what to do.
Now I can hear and see you. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Am I there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. We're back.
Cool.
Yeah, what I was going to say about like what you're talking about there, though, is it's interesting. Is I think that one of the challenges for independent filmmakers is finding your team, and then, like you said, it's like respecting those roles. And a lot of times early on,
so this stupid spam call keeps trying to call me.
Oh yeah, the phone calls. I forgot about that.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're here.
The stupid spam call keeps trying to call me, and it keeps knocking me off.
What I started to say was, you're talking about your guys' team and your crew and all that stuff, and finding the roles as well. Is like I think one of the biggest challenges for independent filmmakers is, we start this thing. One of the things maybe you had a leg up on because you worked in Mega Effects and on so many different projects, you got to sort of see like, oh, I worked with a really cool producer one time, a really good, you saw the value of getting good people in the right positions.
Oh, yeah.
Independent filmmakers that kind of just, fake it until they make it. It's like you grab a friend and they're like, yeah, I want to be a script supervisor. Yeah, I'm an AD. And along the way, the challenge is like, kind of like, it sounds terrible, but it's like you kind of have to rid yourself of those people that don't want to really do that job and find people that do, so that you can find that tight team of people that are really good at what they do. It's very hard.
Do you think that there's something to say, like less is more for me? Like a smaller crew that's more dedicated humans is better than rank. Like I don't need to worry about 20 people on set that don't have a job, it's I don't know, but I have been on a lot of movies and I learned from a lot of mistakes and I learned from a lot of wins. Like I watched so much of my directing style that comes from Charles Band. Like I watched Charlie just rip pages out of a script and finish his movie on time, and
right.
I can connect that to makeup effects because you can't get attached to the clay. Like that's it.
Right.
So I definitely schooled myself without knowing it for years. I never thought I wanted to be a director until I made Teddy Told Me To. And then it just like clicked. I love it. And I'm good at it, I think, because of my experience prior. I've trained for years.
Yeah, you've gotten to see a lot of different, again, like you said, a lot of successes and a lot of failures. I think people forget that oftentimes we learn more from the failures than we do from the successes.
Every time.
It's like,
always.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a great thing.
I mean, that's how you learn to ride a bike, not by just going, by falling over. I mean, it's important to fail always. And to watch others catastrophically fail because they were sticking to the guns of what they learned in film school is crazy. Like that, I just remember, now when I go on a set where I feel like, oh, maybe I'm past my prime to be on a level of a I'll work for anybody if I like them.
No, but what you're saying is fair. I get it.
It's
Yeah,
like
you've done
watching other people play video games. It's just
Yeah.
like, Jesus, I can't do this. I
Right.
just want to step in and do it for them.
Well, and it's like, and that's the tough part about the independent filmmaking side of it too. Is again, we have to kind of learn and grow. And obviously, you want somebody like you who has experience and talent and know that you can do a great job. But it's like might not be ready to grab that guy. Don't use up that one yet. Be a little bit more prepared. Learn. Make some mistakes. Learn some lessons. I think that's one of the hardest things to accept in the world of filmmaking, of wanting to become one, is that you need to make some mistakes.
Sure.
Like everyone wants that and I did. Like I wanted my first movie I was like, this is going to go to Sundance. Hollywood's going to call me. Everyone's going to care. You have these crazy ideas, but also you have the weight of those crazy ideas because it's like I have to be that successful. I remember feeling like a big failure when I was like, oh Jesus, this movie's not what I thought it was going to be. It's not. I was like, now I have to accept what it is. And what I didn't realize that I was like, oh, this is awesome. I just did this. I mean, I always was proud of it and I loved that I did it, but I was like, this is the journey. Like, this is the thing. I made this movie. I can make another one and another one. And I keep learning and meeting people. And
I also want to clarify, I don't know how many people are watching or listening, but when I say I'm good at it or we have so much fun, I'm not saying my movies are perfect. My movies are. I learn from mistakes on every single one of them. And they're not for everybody. They are definitely a certain flavor for a certain type of horror fan. The people that are into what I'm into, they love what I do, and I see this like it connects. But there are certainly filmmakers or film fans that would think what I make is schlock garbage, and that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody likes the same flavors on the buffet.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of why I asked the question earlier. It was like, like how do you kind of explain your movies? Because I do think it's, you're 100% right. I mean, no matter what it is, there's a million different genres, subgenres, levels, and everybody kind of loves, their own things and their own. I know. I think I told you before. The first movie I ever worked on was Ted Michaels. It was God, I can't remember the name of this one. But then it was oh god dang it, the one that they eat the cats eat the cat food.
It wasn't Astro Zombies.
No, it was why can't I think Corpse Grinders 2.
Corpse Grinders.
I worked at Corpse Grinders 2 because he decided he's gonna make a sequel to it. And then this other one that was called like, it's not Terrifier, but it was a name sort of like that. But I remember being on set and I was like so excited because I always wanted to be around movies and everything, and I get to work with this, guy who made all this cool shit.
He's a legend.
Yeah, but he was so like, it was like almost exactly what I expected and exactly what I didn't expect at all. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I knew it was going to be low budget, but it was the coolest thing ever. But I remember one day I was like kind of watching it and I'm like, this is not very good. Like the acting is kind of pretty bad. Like I was, I'm thinking in my head and I'm like, and then like he cuts and he's like, great. He's like, but next time, I think he's like, more camp, more cheese or something like that. And I was like, it immediately clicked in my head. I'm like, Mike, because, that's a stage in my life where I was watching, Kevin Smith, Robert Rodriguez, all the indie stuff of the 90s that I really liked a lot of the time. And I'm thinking to myself, like, the character's got to be a little deeper. This has got to be, I'm like, no, I'm on the set of like this schlocky, horror film that's like adorable and amazing for what it is. And it's like, that's what it's meant to be. Like he did not achieve, he wasn't doing the things because it was like, he didn't know how. He was making the movie he meant to make. And that's all. And I love that. And he's got a cool, history of a library of films that he did that with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's also another important part of filmmaking is like, regardless of what you decide that you want your career to be like or your movies or whatever you do, but it's like kind of staying true to what you love. So you make the things that you like and you're not trying to copy something else.
That's why all my films are so vastly different because I love a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But there's definitely elements you'll see of Andy Sedaris, like Bikini Machine Gun movies mixed with Sam Raimi's Evil Dead. Like I love so much and I like to put all my influences in there and then let everybody else sort it out. And I think it's kind of developed this weird kind of style. Like I've created a style that is, it might be old timey Bigfoot fighting, but somehow you'll be able to relate that to something else you've seen back in the day, or maybe not. Maybe it's your introduction to it. And I mean, that's kind of what Quentin Tarantino did. Like, he just took the weird kung fu movies and things he loved and modernized it, made it his own, you know?
Yeah, and his movies are very much that too. I mean, he's obviously, I think, one of the greatest filmmakers ever. But you're right in the sense of, like, he didn't just go straight forward and, like, let me make Hollywood movies.
Right.
He makes very stylistic films with, like, the dialogue is incredibly unique to him, and but also works perfectly. And like, he just has his, he makes his movies very much, but they are all kind of influenced by other great filmmakers and different things. But he was able to kind of retain his style and voice completely. And I think that's what all filmmakers should try to do. I mean, regardless of if you're going to become a millionaire off of it or just have fun making movies, I think if you stick to that, you'll be happy always, right?
Yeah.
Is trying to kind of venture out and do something else because you think it'd be more successful, then you just kind of lose the fun of it, right? Like I want to sit there and watch a movie I made that I tried to copy something, and then then it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's great. So, Bloody Bluff. To get back to it, you want to talk a little bit about the actress that was in it too? So if people see this, we could talk a little bit about her not being able to show up at the screening.
So I wrote a role for my daughter because I often put my whole family in these movies because that's what I like to do. And my daughter's a great little actress. She's in Teddy Told Me To, and she's good. And I wrote her into this movie, and she ended up bringing home this envelope from her friend Leighton. This is her best friend since they were in. And Leighton had written a letter that said that she wants to be in my movie, and in that envelope was a headshot and a resume with all of her school theater.
So cute.
I mean, this girl's at the time was like 11 or 12 years old, or maybe 10 or 11 years old, and I just thought it was so mature. I know she's a great little dancer and theater actress, so I said to Lily, I was like, I wrote this role for you, and she's like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't even want to act. I don't want to be an actress. I want Leighton to do it. So she gave the role to her best friend, and I thought that was adorable.
That is adorable.
And we shot the movie. She plays Mackenzie Westmore's daughter, which Mackenzie was on the host of Face Off, which is a reality show I was on. So that was like a big deal that we were working together after 16 years. And but Leighton plays her daughter, and she goes missing in the woods. And so we've been trying to finish this movie in post-production is a nightmare on most independent film, and this has been no different. Like, we lost editors, and we've gone back and forth, and my wife is editing now, and she also wrote the script, so that is very good because she knows the movie very well. We're really trying to get it done for the Sin City Horror Fest because I wanted to premiere this thing in a big theater because Leighton's whole family is awesome. Like, these are very close friends of ours in Boulder City here. There's a lot of them, and they're cheerers, you know what I mean? Like, when we go to the school plays and stuff, they're the cheering section. So it would have been a really cool thing to gift them this premiere, where I thought, we have to finish it for this one so we can do this big premiere and get the Lawrences out there, and Dennis, her grandpa, and Dylan, her uncle. I'm friends with all of them, so they'd all come out. And unfortunately, we were doing a haunted house earlier this year in October, like the beginning of the month, and she had gone to the doctor. She was working the snack shack with my daughter, and she had gone to the doctor that day because she was having difficulties with her motor skills. Like, she's in ballet and cheerleading and all this. She was having a hard time with her balance and walking, and it was just a little off. So I did an MRI that day, and then she ended up going back to the doctor again the next day, and they discovered there was a tumor the size of a softball in the back of her head.
Wow.
That had been there for years. It had been growing for years. I don't know how. I can't even wrap my mind around how that happened, or you wouldn't know talking to her. You wouldn't have known ever. Like, she's just this intelligent, bright, overly mature little girl that could. I mean, she acts like the best of them. And so I have this weird memory, I worked on a movie about 15 years ago. I don't know, maybe 2009-ish, 2008, called Punch, with a little 8-year-old actress named Sydney Sweeney. And
Oh wow. Oh,
I was doing motorcycle stunts, and she was on the bike with me. Like, I was responsible for her life there for a moment. And that little girl was so mature and so bright and so professional on set. And I hadn't seen that with a kid again until Leighton. On set, she was so mature, so responsive, did her own makeup. She came off book. She knew her lines. She didn't ever need a line. She knew everything. I was so proud of her. And in my mind, kind of comparing her to Sydney went on to have an amazing career. Like,
yeah.
she's huge. And I could see Leighton doing that someday too. She's just a shining star at everybody's eye, and so with the tumor, they had it surgically removed, and my fingers were crossed. I was like, oh man, the screening's coming. I really want her to be able to, all she ever wanted to do is be an actress. She got her IMDb credit. I sent that to her parents, and I was like, look, she's a real actress. It says so on IMDb, and my daughter's been sending her packages and stuff, but she got whooshed away to Utah to a special surgeon that was the only person that could do this operation, and he saved her life. And
amazing.
Going to be a long road to recovery. Like, they don't know how long they're going to be in that hospital. Like, it could be months. We have no idea.
Yeah.
So I approached you about, I have an idea to raise money for the family. I'm going to charge $10 if anybody would like to buy Leighton's first round of autographs. And we have the 8x10s printed up, and when she's ready, when she feels comfortable, she'll sign them and we'll mail them all out. But I'm going to bring some envelopes that you can either leave $10 cash on, or there'll be a QR code you can scan to put it, but you can write your information if you want it personalized, if you want it, just her name or whatever. And I just think back to the Sydney Sweeney thing. Like, if we all had 8-year-old Sydney Sweeney's autograph, that would have been.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. Yeah.
So I really think.
Wait, lost you there. Somebody calling you
there,
again?
or did you lose me?
No, you're back.
Stupid phone.
You getting a phone call again?
Yeah, it kicks me off. But yeah, so that way we can raise a little bit of money for the family's recovery fund. They have a GoFundMe going, and it's doing well. But like, these guys aren't working now, and they're living in a hospital, so it's like
so hard. Yeah,
it's a lot of money and a lot of. It's also just a tumultuous. I just can't imagine as a parent. Going through. So I just really I hope we can help them out as much as we can. The whole community has come together. Boulder City has done several fundraisers, and like I said, this is a very loved family, but also Leighton in particular is just a special soul. So
yeah, it's a terrible thing for a little kid to have to go through. So we're donating all the money from all the tickets for you guys' screening to them as well. And we're happy to do so. And
it was funny. My dad thanked me. He's like, oh, I think it's so cool you're donating the ticket sales to Leighton and the Lawrences. And I said, no, that's Sin City Horror Fest. That's not me. That's, other people stepping up. And, I think that's a big deal. And I know they appreciate it. Andrew, her dad, has messaged me, and like, the amount of support they're receiving is really helping keep their hopes up, because they have, like I said, a really long road ahead of them. They took a giant map child's skull, so it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's very hard recovering from those kind of, like, you when you're not involved with it, you hear like, oh, they're okay, and you're like, oh, cool, everything's okay. But it's like, no, it's a long road. It's a long road, and hopefully everything will be okay. But it's like, the recovery is really, really tough. I had a friend who had a really bad head injury, and known some other people with similar things. But it's like, when you're involved with it, you realize like how heavy it is, and how, like, from the outside, it's like like, oh, they're fine. It's okay.
There's also something that I've now decided I call hurricane syndrome. Like when a hurricane hits Florida, everybody's like, oh my God, it was horrible. And their houses are destroyed and it's horrible. And then 7 days later, nobody's talking about that.
Yeah. You're like, they're fine.
For 2 years, they're repairing their house. You know what I mean? And that's how I kind of feel like when she went to the hospital, the outpour was incredible. It was like, oh my God. And then she got the surgery and it was benign and she's going to be okay. And then the chatter stops and it's like, no, like she's got to learn how to smile in a mirror. Like we're not there yet, like let's keep rooting for these guys and keep them in our thoughts. And
well, it's awesome
I think that's important. So we're going to try to help that along as much as we can. And she's awesome in the movie. And I think that also, oddly enough, this is the first movie I ever did that's not like overly adult. There's no nudity, there's no swearing, so it's like kind of safe for a kid to watch, which I think is cool. That wasn't intentional, but it worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I got our next filmmakers popping in here. Thanks for sticking on with me for the hour and chatting. I look forward to doing some more. And Tom's movie is playing on Sunday. It's the final feature film in the festival at 5:30. Wait, is it 5:30 p.m.? 4:30 p.m. Sorry.
Yep.
At Brenden Theaters at the Palms. We have tickets for sale. Hit me up. I have some tickets I'm happy to give away. But yes, anybody that buys a ticket, that money will go to Leighton's family and to Leighton to help them out.
Yeah, we appreciate that. All right, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Tom. I'll chat with you soon, buddy.
All righty. Bye.
All right, next up we have some filmmakers from the film The Other Kind. And let me add them in. Caroline. Hello, Caroline.
Hi there. Hi, Mike. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you face to face. I know we had a phone call before. Is it Lastonia? Am I saying that right, or did I butcher it?
No, you're fine. Lastonia.
Lastonia, okay.
You're close. You're close.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Is Mary going to join us?
She is, and Rebecca Kennedy is on her way.
All right, fantastic. Well, while we wait for them, how are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. I been chilling in this live stream, chatting with all these filmmakers, which I love. It's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, it's been fun.
Perfect. Cool.
And we're just trying to get everything ready for this film festival. Are you guys? Who's going to make it out for the film festival? Are you going to be able to make it then, Caroline?
Yes, I'm
Nice.
going to Vegas on Saturday. I'm very excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how about you?
Oh, I want to. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think something's going to happen that I can get there.
Are you in LA, or are you guys both in LA?
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Caroline?
I'm in LA.
Okay.
So I think I've been to Vegas once more. I've traveled many parts of the world, but it was definitely Vegas was like, whoa, where am I? So I'm excited to feel more acclimated to Las Vegas and really just,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like having a culture shock, though. I think that's cool, too.
Vegas is not like I've lived here since I was 6 months old. I moved to California for a short period of time when I was like in my early 20s. But it's like I understand the culture shock that Vegas is, but when you live here, it's easy to take it for granted.
Yeah.
All right, we got Mary joining. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. Mary is the director of The Other Kind. Why don't you guys, while we're waiting for the other, why don't you guys introduce yourselves, what you did on the film, and then we'll chat some more. Let's start with you, Mary.
So hi, I'm the director and screenwriter of The Other Kind, and I basically came up with the idea 8 years ago. Over the span of 8 years, I came up with this idea, and it has developed into something wonderful. It originally was based in I originally wanted it to be in
Hey.
Sorry, I was rushing home to make it. So.
Sorry, Mike. this is like a reunion for us because we haven't seen each other or been in a room together for a while. So we're pretty excited that you're bringing us.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that we're able to host that.
Thanks for letting me like jump in really last minute,
Absolutely.
you know, appreciate it. So anyway, I don't want to interrupt, so continue.
So basically, I originally thought of the idea. It was based in Ireland, and we wanted to shoot in Ireland, but we ended up shooting in California, in Crestline, California, actually, and it was based off of the idea of selkies, and it was based off of the idea of mermaids, and it kind of turned into something that is totally sci-fi and different than what the original idea was. And
unfortunately, Mary happened to move to a town in California that had a lake, but she had like initially like hoped to shoot in Ireland, but then ended up living in this like beautiful town that we all now have a deep fondness for. It's called Crestline in San Bernardino Mountains.
Okay, Crestline.
Which brings up its own problems because we had to get everyone from LA up to this mountain, and even our executive producer was actually like terrified the first time she drove up, because I mean for thrill seekers it's kind of exciting driving up that mountain, but
it's a little bit sketchy.
It's just like epic. It's an epic mountain.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I just took my time. I was like, people can just go around me. Like,
you have
I'm driving as slow as I please, because it doesn't help us if we die on the way there.
No. As I've gotten older, I've gotten like I was never bothered by heights, but as I've gotten older, it's like even when I'm driving, that pass from Vegas to California, even that one, I can't remember what it's called. But either way, you look over and it's just like endless, and oftentimes it's full of like mist and fog. And it like, I used to love it when I was younger driving through that space, and now it like freaks me out. I can't look at it. I gotta just look ahead at the road. So I get it. So Mary, you wrote and directed the film. You kind of started putting it together 8 years ago, or the idea of it all. What ended up kind of like, how did everyone come together, and how did how did you get it done? Anyone answer?
So basically, I brought in the amazing producer Caroline, and
who had never produced a feature film. So I really appreciate Mary trusting that in me to perform this role.
I met her on another feature film, and I was ACing, and she was helping produce it, and so she basically showed me that her producing skills were amazing. It goes above and beyond producing other projects, and
I won Mary over with some smoothies, basically.
Yeah.
I was like bringing the camera department on this movie. I was helping a friend with her movie. It was hard because we shot during COVID. Like this was 2021, but I had a friend who didn't get to finish making her movie because of COVID, and then picked back up, and she had asked me to help, and I was just like making smoothies for the camera department and bringing smoothies, and Mary just thought that was really sweet, among other things. But yeah.
That's amazing.
She just got funding for her movie, and we're really lucky. We have she found these investors, LaBranch Productions, Gary and Karen LaBranch, and they wanted to support a first-time feature film female director, and that's
very cool. Can you talk a little bit? I mean, I'm not asking for the details that are sensitive, but it's one of the biggest challenges for filmmakers is to get financing for the film, try to figure out how to get off the ground. Can you talk a little bit about how you approach that?
So I was lucky during COVID. I kind of pitched them a different project, and the short film that I made with them was a test,
Okay.
and they invested in that short film, and I had reconnected with them actually over Twitter because during COVID it was. It's called the short film was called Eyes, and I reconnected with them over Twitter and met them in Vegas actually.
Okay.
And
It's all full circle.
it's all full circle. And the short film was a test, and then they were like, okay, what else do you have? And the other kind was the feature film that was what I wrote, and I basically pitched that to them. And then they came back to me and were like, okay, we do want to finance this. And it was luck. It was all luck.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
One of the biggest, what a lot of people don't know that want to become filmmakers and get into all this stuff is one of the, is how much timing and luck is part of the journey. Like, it's like, you got to keep, I always tell people, it's like, just keep doing stuff and opportunities show up. But it's like, it's oftentimes when you'd least expect it, or the least expected avenue. You're like, holy cow, that's how this thing's going to happen this time. But just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and they, that stuff does seem to fall in place eventually, and that's cool.
Yeah, we were very lucky to have on board, and LaBranche Productions definitely supports women directors and women screenwriters and all the female empowerment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're like they produce they produce more films, or was this kind of a one-time thing?
This was their first time movie, and they have a daughter in film school, so they wanted to learn about movie making.
Oh, smart.
The only way to learn is to do. So yeah, and then we were very lucky, like with like you were saying, things just fall into place with casting. Mary actually found Rebecca Kennedy and Lestanja Diaz, like our two female leads. Very, like, it was just so effortless that I was the person saying, wait, we should check all, we should keep auditioning, and it was just like we went back to both of these actresses because they're just phenomenal. And yeah,
you ladies were amazing. Both of you guys were phenomenal. Yeah, incredible performances.
Thank you.
And it's such a, that's it goes without saying, but it's sometimes often missed. But it's like when you're making independent films and stuff like that, it's like, you got to have strong acting, you got to have, like, obviously good writing and stuff. But it's like, you guys did a hell of a job. You're great.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
So how did Rebecca? How did you kind of come to it, and what did you think about the script when you read it? And I don't know.
Yeah. Mary and I were friends on Instagram online, and one day she messaged me on there and was like, hey, I'm doing a film. Would you be interested in auditioning? And I was like, yeah, send me the script and the sides, and, I'll see if it vibes with me or whatever. And I read it and I thought, oh, this is going to be so fun. I thought Birdie was just a really unique, fun, interesting character. And I thought it would be really a fun challenge to kind of see her journey. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen the film yet, but you'll know when you see it. And so I sent her a tape, and then I don't even know how long it was, Mary, maybe like a week. I don't remember. It's been too long now. I don't remember how much time went on. But at some point, she was like, "Yeah, I want to offer you the part." So I met with Mary and Caroline, and we had over coffee. I think it was smoothies, actually. And we talked and talked about the film and the part and filming and the script. And I just, as a woman, want to, support as many women filmmakers as far as directors and producers. I haven't gotten to work with a ton of women yet. I've gotten to work with some, but not a ton. So it was a pleasure and a joy to be able to support them and work with them. And Lestange, of course, was a dream partner. Like, we didn't know each other at all before we started working together. And we lived together in an Airbnb in Crestline, and it was just so easy. Like, we instantly just connected and became friends. And so working on the film together, being best friends in the movie, was just really easy because she's phenomenal as an actress and as a person. So it was a hard shoot, just because every shoot is hard. It's like, it's never easy when you're making an indie film. Everybody is putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making something great. But I'm really proud of what we accomplished.
It's amazing. And Lestanja, how did you come into it? What was your?
I think I found it on like casting networks or something.
Okay.
This was a while ago. Like, I didn't even have an agent yet. Just in LA. I lived in LA for a while. But yeah, I found it. I thought it sounded incredible. Basically, I was like, hell yeah, I want to play this role. Auditioned. I think I got a call back, and then I auditioned and waited for a while. I was kind of nervous, but I guess my audition got stuck in spam. And
I was gonna say, you have to tell that
email,
because you almost didn't she almost didn't know that you sent your tape. Like, that's so crazy to me that, like, if you had never checked your spam, it would have.
That's a very good. That's a good message for anyone out there. It's like, if you're not hearing back from somebody, it could be stuck in spam.
I feel like it's so Mary to check her spam. Like, I wouldn't check my spam, but that's like so cool of you, Mary.
Yeah, she checked her spam, thankfully, and I pretty much met probably the most influential people that I met out in LA. And they still inspire me to this day. Like, Rebecca is incredible. Becca, you're amazing. She taught me so much throughout the whole. That was my first feature film that I had ever shot. So her support and just having her as a partner was incredible, and I feel so lucky every day to have been able to work with her. And just like all the women power, like, I was so attracted to everything about it. No, I just feel really lucky, and I'll hold those memories very close forever. So
it's the best part and the worst part about making a movie is like the friendships that you make, and then having to say goodbye. Like, that realization of, like, you're going on this cool adventure with everybody. And at least for me, when I did mine, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm enjoying every day. You're stressed out, your brains are falling out, everything's falling out. But it's like, when that last kind of day comes, you hit that realization of, like, oh man, everyone's gonna go home. Like, it's kind of, it's this beautiful thing, and that it's like, moment in time. So it's like, just getting to enjoy it is really cool.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, for sure.
No. And Caroline, for you, coming on, deciding to be a producer in a feature film for the first time, what was that like?
It was very intimidating, for sure. I've spent many hours on set, more as a stand-in, actually, but on like the best movies, like on Oscar award-winning movies like Birdman, and I was Kerry Russell's stand-in on The Americans for 2 seasons. I've been, I stood in on a Madonna music video clips.
Wow.
And I've done a lot of body doubling, so it was weird that some of these skills I'd learned doing that. I mean, I'm an actor and a writer too, but were actually useful, because like when we would location scout, Mary's like, oh, is this gonna work for this lake moment? And I'm like, let me get in the lake for you.
Right.
You can see what it looks like. Like, I was just like game, like, I'm fine to be in front of the camera, I'm quite happy to be in front of the camera too. So that worked out well, but there was a lot of things I had to learn on the job, and I was just very lucky that the professional people that we had working for us, like our AD department, that they were able to kind of support a first-time feature producer. But I was like, I think one of the blessings was Crestline is a long drive. Like, sometimes It was during COVID, so I had some time to kill, but I would drive up for post-production meetings with Mary, and I would have 2 hours in the car, and I would listen to this Audible book, producer to producer, and just try and learn every part of like production and post-production by listening to that. But I definitely made some errors. There were things I didn't know about renting a porta potty, like, because we were in the middle of nowhere for a few hours, like, and it didn't even occur to me, and I'm Australian, so I was like, just pee in the bush, like, what's so
And we did.
and and it was bad karma because I was the one who did pee in the bush and almost got caught by our producers. So yeah.
We live and we learn. For every experience, you learn something as actor. Even on the acting side, you learn something about yourself as an actor and as a human on everything, whether the experience is amazing or you're learning. So it's never a bad thing, regardless of you'll take.
No, and that's kind of like the most important thing, I think, is that you embrace that, because it's like that's what it's all about. Is like it is a journey. I said that many times on this live stream, but it's one of the things I realized kind of along my way too. Is like early on, it's like you're kind of afraid of failure, kind of afraid to make mistakes. But that's everyone does. You have to like a lot of those things. You don't know what you don't know. So like even like you don't know that you should probably get a porta potty, like because you're or whatever. Because it's like you got 900 other things that you're working on. It's like getting people fed. And so all those little mistakes are learning lessons, and they help us grow and become better versions of ourselves, which is really cool. And you can't get there without doing stuff, so it's amazing. Mary, what was post-production like for you guys? So it sounded like it's been a bit to get it over the finish line. How'd that go?
We worked in post-production with some amazing editors over the years, and it was multiple editors, and we worked on the music as well, which was a big portion of the post-production, and getting the bands approved, etc. with Caroline was a big part of that.
We had a very great music supervisor, Gabby Cohen, that we worked with, and just licensing, like, for us was a learning curve, but like something we all felt really passionate about, getting like the best soundtrack we could possibly get.
Yeah, there's some great music in the movie. I definitely noticed the music, because it's another part of independent filmmaking that's often just kind of like, okay, let's just grab stock music, because it's like, it's like you're doing so many things, your budget's so low, all the different things you're dealing with. I could definitely tell that the music was, selected with care.
We have like 3 tracks from a local musician in Crestline, Steve Taylor. So that was really exciting that our music is kind of reflecting like the actual town, because it's like literally people that live in town.
Well, it's very exciting. So how many of you are, I know that Stonja said you couldn't make it. Rebecca, are you going to be out for the premiere?
No, I'm sad. I'm going to be in a convention in Ohio. I'm bummed, but we'll be cheering you guys on, and that's really exciting. It's really fun that you're getting to have it there. That's really cool. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anybody that's watching or sees this in between, The Other Kind plays on Saturday night at
8:15.
8:15, right? Yep, Saturday night at 8:15. Caroline and Mary will be there for a Q&A and to chat and meet them.
And our executive producer, Gary LeBranch, will be there too.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. Very cool. I love it. Yeah. So we still got a few more minutes before the next one. Where are you guys at with, like, what's the next steps? Are you guys still in film fest, or film festival submission process? Have you guys looked into distribution? Have you got a sales agent or anything like that yet?
Yeah, we have a great sales consultant who we've both, Mary's known for years, and I think of as a good friend, actually. So we're really blessed, and actually all of us. It's probably an unusual circumstance.
It's a small world in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have our teaser that's going to be released tomorrow, which is very exciting. So please, follow us on the Other Kind movie, and we'll share that with you, Sin City too.
We'll share that.
Just love to share it. But we're excited. We're just starting our festival run, and we're definitely wanting to get the movie out there to the public too as soon as we can.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm happy. We're excited to screen your film and meet you guys in person, and excited for our audience to watch it. So, I think I got my next. Yep, you guys coming on in. But is there anything else you guys wanted to plug or chat about before I let you go? Any of you?
I think so.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming on. And after the film festival, I plan on doing some other live streams on the YouTube channel and stuff, and maybe I'll have you guys back on around the time that the film get released, and we'll talk some more about it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thanks for joining me, and we'll chat soon. See you
Awesome.
this weekend.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was some of the cast and crew and filmmakers from The Other Kind, which plays Saturday at 8:15, and the producer and the director and one of the other producers is going to join us. It was they had a really cool kind of a thriller film that was a lot of fun, and really enjoyed it, and so we're excited to have them out. Next up, we're going to have Gino. Gino is the filmmaker from a movie called Guna the Lagoon. And there he is. Let me add him on. Gino, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I dropped out for a quick second. I had to make an adjustment to my technical situation.
Oh, no worries. I was sitting here. I felt bad. I was just interviewing these last filmmakers, and I've been sitting for so long. I'm like popping up and down because my butt's falling asleep. I was like, I need to just get a little stretch in. Gino. Cool. So Gino, real quick to anybody who's watching or watches this afterwards, Gino is a filmmaker, and his film that's going to be playing at Sin City Horror Fest on Sunday at 2 p.m. is Guna the Lagoon. So Gino, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, dude. This is super exciting. I've seen the festival over the years, and was always curious to be a part of it. And finally, we had a project that made sense, and we're excited to be a part of this year's festival.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm really excited to have your film, and it was great meeting you the other night, and I look forward to getting to know you better. I'm excited that you're here in Vegas sometimes too, which is super cool. But let's dive in a little bit to I want to kind of let people learn a little bit more about you and about your films and what you do. But let's first, I guess, start with kind of your background, and then we'll get into Guna Lagoon.
Yeah. I got into film in 2010. I was in the Atlanta film market. And we were really just a bunch of live event people for the most part, until the industry decided to come storming into Lakewood, and we all jumped on, obviously very excited. And so we immediately built a community down at Screen Gems, and of course down at Riverside and Lakedale and Riverdale with AMC. And so a lot of us started with Walking Dead and Vampire Diaries and other projects that were going on down there in Atlanta, and sort of just building relationships, working in the camera department. And so a lot of my early days was starting off just as a camera assist, and then working my way up to B unit cameras, and then eventually working in the cinematography department on various different projects.
Did you go to school for any of that, or did you just get into it?
No, yeah. So I am a graduate of SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. And I started off at Kennesaw State University in North, just people call it North Atlanta, but it's outside of Atlanta. It's in Georgia. Because I'm born in Atlanta proper, I'm specific about it.
Okay.
But yeah, and so then joining the work field, we were just doing like sports and live events and conventions and stuff like that in Atlanta. But then yeah, we jumped right in to the films when they came in town. They wanted to take advantage of the local talent and the local techs, so we were able to jump right in. And then except from there, just sort of like continuing to work throughout various projects as they came along. And then I jumped in on my first feature. I did a documentary in 2016. And from there, just continued to sort of chip my way up towards various different projects that we could justify the budget on. And sort of understanding the business of filmmaking was a big piece to allow me to continue to create products. But yeah, I mean, then this most recent product, Goon of the Lagoon, is something that we're very excited about. It is our favorite, but I think that's every filmmaker when they make a new film. So yeah, we're
But it's
very
very
excited.
good, man. I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm excited for people to check it out. You guys did an incredible job.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll get back to it. One thing I don't want to forget about back to is I really loved when me and you first spoke and you were talking about the business of filmmaking, because I feel like it's kind of one of the things that all of us independent filmmakers who want to do this thing, it's like almost take it for granted, almost like it's like, no, I just want to make something and I'm like an artist and the world will roll out the red carpet if they just see this one thing I make. But it's not necessarily a testament to like you not being talented or not being, good enough or whatever it is. It's like it is a business. It's something you got to earn a living at if you want to do it. If you're going to invest money in it or you're going to get an investor into it, there's a responsibility that they get their money back, and hopefully make something on it. And so you got to try to understand how does that business work? How do you make some money? What to do?
Yeah, no, it's one of those things like now that I have like the distribution relationships and the distribution know-how, and sort of like I understand what the market's looking for, and I've seen it from concept to creation to distribution to even going to the festivals years later because it has some sort of audience. I've got nothing that I've made on my own that has like a huge fan base, but certainly we've been requested at some cons before a certain thing. And so just understanding those pieces, I am now very excited to work with other filmmakers to help them understand it and to help them grasp, because I remember that frustration of like, why won't anybody just tell us what the heck is the problem or what's going on here? Or why doesn't this work? And once we cracked the egg, I was like, team huddle, everybody, here's what's going on here. And we've just sort of my core group of friends and associates, we sort of like had that mentality like, look, we can't accomplish these things with just like by ourselves. We need other creatives and other producers and other people to so that we can help create these projects that are bigger than what we can do by ourselves.
Yeah. And it's so cool. I mean, it's awesome that you guys had that. And it's like, that's and it's part of this journey of trying to get to, making a comfortable living and enjoying yourself at the same time and not killing yourself. And it's just to the point what you're saying is like, it's just once you kind of get like a peek around that corner where you're like, oh, okay, like this does kind of make some sense. The challenge is sort of what you're saying is like no one tells you. And I remember when I made my first movie, like I remember here are the things that I heard. I was like, I'm going to make a movie. I had saved up a bunch of money. I wrote a script and I was like, I went to some film festival. I was trying to network and I was like, I'm going to make this movie at $20,000. And everybody was like, can't, like, I was either met with, you can't do that, period, end of story. Or then you were met with people that would be like, oh, I did one too. And they would sell you this big, like no one would be honest with you about their movie made no money. They didn't know what happened to it in distribution. Everyone was either like kind of like, I guess, ashamed or embarrassed of what happened, or again, just telling you can't do it. But I
Mhm.
didn't find anybody that was like, "Hey, by the way, here's some really useful information." And so
Exactly.
that's what I've always tried to like. That's, with the film festival and everything else, is like I love talking to people like you and trying to help spread that message too, because there is a path to it, but you got to understand it. You got to want to too.
Yeah, especially now that a lot of okay, so I'm not gonna say a lot of the revenue paths have dried up. It's just that they're rapidly changing.
Yeah.
It is rapidly changing from platform to platform, from method to method, from expectation to expectation, and then sometimes going back to the thing that you were like, wait, we're back at this. This was the new,
Right.
like, and so it's just like you just have to kind of keep your ear to the ground. You have to nourish those relationships. Like, things are happening and you have to have those conversations. Like, Mike, this can't be the only time we talk until next year. You and I, we have to talk so
Yeah.
that when you're like, hey, listen, I got an email from this company saying that they just got bought by these people and they're no longer interested in this thing anymore.
Right.
And that's just how we know, because otherwise someone's going to go out and make a product for an audience or a platform that is no longer interested, and they just wasted a lot of resources.
Right. And it's also to kind of what you were saying too, is like having that mindset where you're not like, because I feel like one of the things where filmmakers get stuck a lot in is it's just like there's this, you set these expectations of like, this is what it's going to be, this is how it's going to happen. And you're right, is like the path and everything about it is changing like so fast right now. We're probably, I think, in like one of the craziest times in the history of filmmaking, where it's like, oh, AVOD, boom, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, but sort of, but not really. It's like, it popped so fast, and then it kind of fizzled out. And at that time, we saw these things where it was like, okay, it's going to just keep growing and getting better, which I think it is, but it's not the way you expect it. And it's not with just wide open arms of like, oh, everybody give us your stuff. Here's some money.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nuanced. It's very like, and you have to just stay positive, and you have to keep trying to pivot and keep trying to like, find the new opportunities. Like you said, is like this person says, oh, I don't want it anymore. A lot of people that I talk to, and even sales agents that I've met and dealt with, it's like, oh, nothing's working. Like everyone kind of just wants to throw their hands in the air and stop, like, oh, we'll wait till it's easy again. But it's not the case. And there's opportunity in that too. Like you said, you're talking to certain people and you hear so-and-so wants this or so, like it's just really cool. I think when you embrace that part of the business, because you can still be creative, you can still have fun, it doesn't have to. I've heard people say things like, where it's like, well, no, I'm an artist, I want to do it this way. And it's like, no, you're just kind of being difficult, really.
Yeah, I've actually kind of wrestled with the idea of creating a product from scratch, from the very blank page to distribution, and just having it be like an open, like just open the door on every single thing. Maybe not like individual like deal memos and stuff like that
Right,
with
yeah.
individual talent, but just like opening like the door. Like, here we are at the writing stage. Here's what happened when we started to crew for this or started to cast for this. Our location, we got down to actual filming. This is what the delays were on set. This is what was great. This is what we expected. Oh my God, it's 2 hours too long. 1 hour too long.
Yeah.
Or, and just all the way down to like that process, because you're right. People just want to sell, like, if we can just have accurate information, good data.
Yeah.
You cannot come up with a good process if you don't have good data.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Like, and every other kind of industry that's out there works that way. But the movie business is like, you're like, oh, I'll just make it and it should earn some money. I think it's like, it's all kind of a dreamer's world, and those distribution companies and different things. There is an awful lot of secrecy. And I think some of it is just the nature of the business. I don't think it's all nefarious or awful, but it's like just cracking that thing. And very much what you're saying is like, I've had the same feeling with my YouTube channel here. And part of one of the things I wanted to do was on the feature that I'm going to make one this year, but it was like, I want to just kind of go live every day, while I'm doing pre-production, while I'm, to just share the ups and downs, and like, again, be just as transparent as I can be about it, because I I wish that I could have found that like when I was first trying to build something and do something. I wish that I could, because you don't know what you don't know. I remember there was a producer that told me that one time, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "That's the greatest thing I've ever heard,"
Yeah.
which is so obvious, but you just don't.
Yeah.
So you can't prepare.
Yeah, I remember when I came across that understanding. We're in college, and there was a philosopher that was saying there are things that you know, and there are things that you don't know. But the worst things are the things that you don't know that you don't know.
Right.
And that's where we have our catastrophic events at.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's like the key to like, opening up those, because once you open up those parts in your mind and those discoveries, I mean, I can't tell you how many filmmakers we're sitting just having like a normal conversation, and I start going like, well, so I really want to, get this one on an SVOD deal, but it, most likely we're going to end up doing TVODs and then transition to AVODs, and they just like don't know what I'm talking about.
No idea what that means. Yeah.
And they're just like, and I'm just like, well, hold on. We have to like make sure that you at least start going down the rabbit hole on YouTube first,
right?
Because you can get that information off YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways. But I love my filmmakers. I love my artsy fartsies. I get into that theme. I'm a director too. I get into that theme too. But I take pride in being able to quickly switch that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to. And that's the thing is like it's I'm glad you said that too, because I don't want it to come off as if like I'm a filmmaker too. I'm an artist too. I have all my, but it's like it's not a negative thing, and that's what I learned along the way. It was like, kind of hard sometimes for some of us to just embrace what it actually is and let our preconceived ideas and let them go, because they're not going to serve us. They're never going to serve us. And you can be artsy, you can still have fun. It's just like, you just need to figure out the landscape, and like, if you want to wait till someone gives you $10 million one day to make your art movie,
yeah,
good luck. That's your choice and that's your journey. But it's like, if you want to go make movies and have some fun and learn and grow, then also just go do that. Like, there's a lot of ways to that.
100%. So I'll make the story short. I was at AFM for my first year, and I was pitching this series that I wanted to make. It was epic fantasy series. So you can get like the budget range, epic fantasy, right? And I met this producer that was very well connected. I won't say names, but she invited me to this meeting. She says, "Oh my God, I like what you have. I'd love to, meet with you." I was like, "Oh my God, we finally got it." I told my brother, I told my girlfriend at the time. I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna get this deal." So I get to the meeting, and I get there, and it's like a round table, and there's already like two other people like there, and it's not like a one-on-one. So I'm kind of like, "Oh shit, like this is like a pyramid. What's going on here?"
Right.
And then like a couple other people come in, and then finally she come in, and then we're all sitting down, and she kind of starts with, "Who's made a movie here?" Everybody raised their hand. Everybody except one girl that was there raised her hand. And so then she says, "Okay, who's made 2 movies?" Fewer people raised their hand. Who's made 3 movies? Less. And then who's made 5? One guy. Who's made 6? The same guy. She says, "I can keep going. You made 8 movies." He raises his hand again. She says, "Okay, guys, the first movie you ever made, where'd you get the money from?" We went around. For the most part, we all got the money on our own. It was pretty much the vast majority of the budget came from ourselves. Whether it was like a $2,000, like found footage film, or a documentary that we managed to make for $1,000 that ended up being $5,000 at the end, whatever the story was, right? It all came from ourselves. Then the next movie, okay, where'd you get the money from for the next movie? We all ran around the table, and we all told where we got the next movie from, where the next money from. She says at the end of that round, she says, "Okay, we all got the money from someone who saw our first movie. Wasn't like a real investment, was just kind of like somebody who wanted to be involved, someone who wanted to give their time plus money, or just their time, or just their money." Where you get who made a third movie? The people who had made a third movie at that time said they got for investments from sales that they made on their second movie, pretty much across the board. And she says to the other 4 of us that was there, not the guy who had 8 movies, she says, "You guys are pitching the movie that's after the movie that's after the movie that you need to make. You guys need to make the movie that you can make right now, sell that, make the money, make the next movie, sell that, make the money, make the next movie. And soon you won't even be asking for money. You'll be saying, no, I don't want that money. And so you need to make the movie that you can make right now and stop, because you can get the money. You can get somebody, like you said, you can get somebody can give you $10,000, but it's gonna take you 10 years, and you could have made 7 movies in that time.
Right.
So it's really, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a line? Do you want to be a sales agent for that film for the next 10 years, or do you want to be a filmmaker right now?
No, and that's an amazing story, man. I love that. That's because it's so true, and it's like, again, one of those things that you just don't know. No one tells you, and it's like I think, like, I remember early when I made mine, like, I just felt so nervous that, like, if this movie, especially once you start to watch it, right? You make your first movie, you have all your dreams, then you watch, and you're like, this is not quite. I think if you have any common sense, you're very aware of what you've made. And I was like, fuck, this is not going to be the thing. But I felt like this massive failure. Like, I felt like I let everyone down. I felt like, my mom was so proud of me. It's like but you don't realize that, like, that's what's supposed to happen. That's part of it. It was like, I remember listening to this podcast one time with Richard Linklater, who's like one of my favorite filmmakers. Someone had asked him about Slacker, and they were like, after that, you just kind of, and he's like, you made your first movie, and he said, I believe this is what he said, because my memory is pretty bad, but that he had made a feature before that he just didn't like and wasn't good enough, so he just never even released it. And so we get these ideas, a lot of us, from podcasts, from things. We hear something, then we make it our own thing. But when you realize that it's like, oh no, this is the thing. It's like you said, it's like you funded that one, and then someone and that's exactly what happened with me. I paid for my whole first one myself. The second one, 2 buddies were like, can I give you some money? And I was like, oh wow, yeah, sure. And now the third one, I have somebody that's going to fund it. Like,
you see, it's the exact same process.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. Like, and there's going to be slight deviations, but at the end of the day, you make a movie, you pony up, you make a movie. Then people see that you can make movies. They want to get on board and move and train. Then the money people are like, wait a minute, I don't leave money on the table. They get involved, and it's just a growing process from there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's part of what you got to do. Like, no one, like, even the greatest ones, like, all the outliers that people kind of pattern themselves or want to do, it's like, they oftentimes don't realize that, it took 5 years of constant work to get this one thing started, and on and on. It's like, it's just not a fast world. It's like, and then just making stuff is the best way you can crack that. You skip the line a little bit, is like, just keep working.
We're dreamers, dude. So we're so willing to accept the exception to the rule as what's going to happen to us.
Right.
As opposed to recognizing the fact that the rules, there's like this massive pile of outcomes that is the rule for a reason.
Right.
And we're like, no, but the exception to the rule. That's the one that, like, every time I'm talking to a filmmaker about why we can't do a thing, and and again, I'm never gonna say, hey, don't do this, like, because I don't wanna. First of all, I know that the thing can happen, right? Second of all, I don't want to be the one that told you that you can't do the thing and then you go and do it, because that's how I am if you try to tell me.
Right.
But when I'm talking to filmmakers, it's they quote the exception to the rule so often.
Every time. Yeah. Because that's the, and maybe there's a little bit of that's just necessary, right? Like, maybe that's what kind of spurs a dreamer anyways, is it's like, you're doing this crazy thing to begin with.
Yeah.
But the sooner I think you snap out of it, the better you chance you have to continue.
And I think you're right. The whole process is the exception to the rule. Like, if we were only gonna go by the rule, we'd be like, we wouldn't be filmmakers.
No.
We would be like, but so I guess what we have to do is we have to give ourselves the best chance by recognizing what the data is, the subsets, and what the audience and what the platforms. Again, art house movies, there's a place for them, usually a festival. But if you're trying to make a business model, gotta look at the data.
And that's 100% true. And it's very, like, it's very complicated, but I think once, I know for me, like, once I dug into it, I was just like, I never would have imagined something I was going to be interested in. And then the minute that I started to see it, I was like, oh shit. Like, it just opened up my brain, opened up creativity. It was like, oh, this is, and you get it. You're like, oh wow, that makes sense.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. To get back to Goon of the Lagoon, what kind of made you, how did that project come to life?
Yeah, so I was again, I kind of start. I kind of when I trace my films back to their origin, it typically is at like AFM, because I kind of finish one journey at AFM, and artists, we just want to go right into like whatever is next if we don't already have things cooking, right?
Right.
And so I was at AFM selling this one, this film called Crescent Gang, and one of the things I do in the meetings when I just had a meeting today with a international distributor here in Las Vegas, and a lot of them have moved here, by the way. If you go on Sonando, and anybody listening, if you go on Sonando and you're like clicking through, their bios and you see Las Vegas, you'll see it quite often. It's not like some random weird PO box. Like, they have moved here, obviously. There's a lot of LA executives that don't have to go into the studios on a daily basis that live here. But I was meeting with him today, and I did the same thing. At the end of those meetings, I'll say like, so what are you guys looking for? Especially if I know that it's not going the way that I want with the project that I'm trying to move, right? I'll be like, well, so what are you guys looking for? And they'll kind of talk about what they're looking for, and I'm jotting down notes, and that's when the business hat is on. That's when I don't even tell them that I direct when I go into those meetings, because they don't want to know that they're talking to a director.
No,
They don't want to know that, because that's like there's a lot of preconceived notions that comes with that. And so we're talking about what they're trying to buy and what they're hearing from their buyers, and they kept saying, creature features. And I was like, well, I do have this one script that is a creature feature, and it's been a while since I've talked about it. I talked to one of my buddies about it, and so we went back to look at it, and we read it again, and we started like tweaking it so that it could be an indie project, right? Could get done within the budget range that we were certain we could sell and make back. We could dream about more, but and we plan to. We are dreaming right now. Yeah, and so we started the process of this thing that's in demand, a creature feature with young people, so that's where we started. And we went and pulled that script, and we looked at it and we read through it, and I sent it back to the writer. The writer made some more tweaks to it, and then I finally got back a script that I was like, this is it. Like, this, I love this story. It can be made on this budget with the resources, with a lot of the resources we already have available to us. And then from there, we just went to go and find the actors, and
that's amazing.
That's kind of where the business guy stepped away, and then it was all like exciting.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. I love it. Yeah, it's what you guys did for is really cool. That movie looks like an expensive movie. Like, it's all on there. It's incredible. So I'm excited for people to watch it.
Our budget is less than 50,000. We'll put it like that. It's considerably less than 50,000.
Yeah, see, that's another thing, and it's like I always want to ask. I don't want to put people on the spot and ask.
Yeah,
and it's not. And I know like a lot of people get a little. There's something which I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't think it really matters. But there's some people that are afraid to say, because they're like, oh, if I say it was 50,000, then no one will give me any more money for it. Maybe to some degree there's some truth to that. But I think, again, what we're talking about and like what's important is like, it's so useful for other filmmakers to hear that. Like, it's so useful for other filmmakers to be like, because again, I've talked to so many, and the company that I work for, that is the main sponsor of our festival, Insurgents. Last year we started this. Well, actually, it's been about 2 years now. But my boss came to me, and we own YouTube channels with movies on them, which is what Creepy Popcorn is, but some of the others. And he just said, I was telling him about the 2 films I made and all the money I lost and all the crappiness of the distributors, of them just like, hey, yeah, we'll give you all, like all the promises that turn into like nobody answers the phone or nobody does anything. And he was like, what? And along the way, he ran into filmmakers that were not getting paid, and they took their film down. So either way, he just was like, if I was to give you, say, $10,000 or $20,000 to make a movie, and we partnered in it, he's like, would you do that? I was like, fuck yes, I would do that. I was like, I would do anything for that offer. I've been waiting for that, And so he was like, oh, interesting. And so we ended up financing like 100 movies, low budget films, and started working with filmmakers and doing all this stuff. which was really cool. I kind of forget exactly what.
Well, we're talking about like opening up and saying what the budget is.
Oh yeah. And so like along through that process, what I found was a lot of times as I was going to filmmakers, they were like, "Oh man, I can't do it for they've seen other things, and I think they have these ideas of like a lot of them, and a lot of them work like kind of in what you work with is working in as getting these great day rates on these big projects and these different things. They start to imagine in their brain, they're like, man, if I brought in my camera guy friend, that's 10 grand. If I brought it, and we got to have a gaffer, and we have to have, the camera department needs 14 people at least. It's like, no, like, look, here's a bunch of examples of $20,000 films, 30, 50, whatever, it doesn't matter, 10. Look at them, deconstruct them, kind of work them backwards, and imagine like, shit, that's pretty cool, and that's how I figured out what I was going to do. It was like, I really, really, really was looking for low budget examples so that I could kind of see what's possible. And obviously Robert Rodriguez and Kevin Smith, their stuff was so, out there, everyone knew. And so, that at least started something for me, but it's the point of why I kind of always interested in sharing budgets and talking about them is like, I think it's a big value for filmmakers that are trying to get started.
No, for sure. So like, I'm gonna take a note here because I don't want to forget. So like, essentially, like, so for us, like, so our budget was $30,000. All right, so let's put that out there. All right, but I'm saying I want to do this thing in the future where I just pull the veil back on what we do. So we got to do a little bit at a time, right? So this budget for Guna Lagoon was $30,000, and it didn't even start out at $30,000. The budget started out lower than that, but we had some just some delays on certain things, and we had to get it to where we had to get it. We're the artist part of us was like, no, we have to have this, blah blah, and that, right? So $30,000 was our entire budget.
Amazing.
And so I will say to filmmakers, don't talk publicly about your budget before you sell the movie. Before you get a distribution deal, okay, or let me just say this. If you're talking to an agent, to a sales agent, you can be as honest as you want to be, because their agent, they're sitting here across from you trying to figure out if they don't want to start a relation. If they're honest people, because again, we know there's scumbags out there. If they're honest people, they're sitting here trying to figure out, if I take this movie, if I distribute this movie for this person, is it going to be 2.5 years later, they're going to be pissed at me because I couldn't go and get $1 million for a project that I'm never going to get $1 million for?
Right.
Is it going to be, or if I shatter his $50,000 expectation in 8 months and was knocking on the door of $200,000, is he going to be like, oh my God, I have another script that I'm making and I'm going to bring it right to you and I want to blah, blah, and we're going to be partners forever and we're going to keep, they're trying to figure that out, right? But they can't, they'll say, what's your budget? And what you're supposed to say, if it's anything less than $1 million, it's less than $1 million, right? And if it's anything more than $1 million, you give the number, right? If it's 1.2 million, 1.2 million. If it's 10 million, 10 million. If it's less than $1 million, you're supposed to say less than $1 million, right? And so I've been in meetings with the Crescent Gang movie specifically, where I did not tell, it was $11,000, and I didn't tell them what the budget was. I was like, less than $1 million, and she was like, the distribution person that was interested goes, big distribution company. She goes, I could tell. You guys probably spent about $200,000. I can tell it was less than $1 million, but you guys did a really good job. Like, I can tell you right now, like, I've seen companies with less than $1 million do way worse than this, blah blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, $200,000 is not what we had and what we did.
Right.
We know, God forbid I would have said actual $11,000. She wouldn't have not watched my trailer.
Yeah.
And then I actually and I got that bit from the fact that I let someone watch the trailer and I told her what the budget was. And she said, okay, don't tell anybody that. If you would have told me that, I wouldn't have watched your trailer. But I'm glad I did, blah, blah, blah. That is how the industry is. I don't control that. Mike doesn't, we don't control that. That's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me that the budget was what it was, I wouldn't have watched a movie. By the way, I like it. I want to distribute it.
Right.
So there is a time. So if you're talking to a sales agent, you can tell them, right? And here's the problem. Sales agents parade themselves as distributors sometimes.
Yeah.
And distributors are saying, well, we're distributor, but I'll be representing your film to international audiences. So like it's hard to even tell who the hell you're talking to. And so again, the best way is if you can talk to the distributor through a reference, the person who has worked with them before, then you can say, they can tell you, look, this is what they can't say. This is what they won't say. I know these people. I trust these people. This is what the deal is. And then to go back to that thing about like, you know, the mindset of the filmmaker and like not like thinking they need $1 million. I would say think about it like this. Think about a Hollywood movie as like a Formula One car, right? With Formula One gas in it and all that stuff. And don't take this, hear me out. Think about your indie film as a Nissan Altima, right? Okay, so here's the deal. There's more Nissan Altimas than there are Formula One cars driving around on the street. There's more indie films. More people rely on them. It's one of the more popular cars you'll see. It's great. You're going to experience that. You're going to be great, right? But you can't go out there and try to make the Nissan Altima with the same process that they made the Formula One car. The Formula One car is there's someone in a laboratory that's like got all white walls and with cool desk, and they're like reading the data on how the gas output was.
Right.
And they're talking to the performance department to figure out like what kind of changes can they make to the fuel formula and how they can change the angle on the front of the car 1 degree to get a better performance. And they won't cut a single piece of fiberglass until the data says this is what that's what happens with Hollywood movies. The marketing department AOKs it first. The marketing department says, okay, with this script, not even script, this concept with this actor, with a script from this person, with this producer can make us this amount of money.
At this moment in time,
your green light to start that process of pre-production.
Right.
Pre-production, you get through pre-production, they look at the data again. This is what you got. Okay, that checks or that doesn't check. Okay, we move it to the next stage. Indie film, come on, man. We're not. We don't have the resources to do. We would spend our entire $30K doing that. You know. Right. So you gotta approach the product development and the product creation process differently. I'm not saying that, you know, when like you at a restaurant burger versus, you know, a fast food burger, like the idea is that you still can have good tomatoes. You may not have heirloom tomatoes on your burger, but like you're gonna have some good tomatoes, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, you have to like think about every piece of that ingredient, every piece of that product, for a different end product. And if you try to make it the same way, you're just not going to be able to sell it and make your money back. Yeah, that's just the reality of it. I don't know if that example works, but that
example I think is perfect. It's great because it's like it encompasses everything, and I think that's kind of the hard thing to get across people is oftentimes they're like, yeah, I get it, but it's like, no, you don't quite get it. It's very nuanced, like you said. It's like before they cut fiberglass, before they're testing fuel, they're doing all this stuff, and it is the truth. It's like with these films, everyone wants to emulate the Hollywood process. And you're so like the only thing I would add to your example is like you're not taking that Nissan to go race that Formula One car either.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like you think that it's like it can't go on the same track, it can't get near. No. And so like, look, sure, maybe 1 in a billion get lucky and they find their way onto that track, but that's not what you have to hang your hat on. Like you have to decide that you're going to make this movie. And I think one of the other things that is important to put in there is that it's like all of what you said equals that you're approaching it with like the best, like I see my project exactly what it is, and I have to make sure that I execute that thing, not these other things. It's like, how do I make the best, you know, it's like an exercise in optimization. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, okay, I've got X amount of budget. I've got, you know, one of the things I talked about and I'm going to do on my next film is like, you know, because my budget will probably be around $25,000. The major players that I want to bring in, like my cinematographer, my producer, and different things, like I'm going to involve them early on in my budgeting process so that they understand. Because I have great people and I have a bunch of options. But it's like I think sometimes people think like, you know, like you know, like let's do this and that. It's like in showing them that process and building it together, I think I'll have a little bit something different I never had before, where they understand, why we're not overspending in certain spaces and what it means. Because, sometimes I think in this thing, it's like you might not include somebody enough. So they don't quite see the, like the entirety of making that soup. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I agree with that. I find myself doing the same thing. I'll typically, and again, what you're saying is like scary to do because like you want people to be as motivated as possible to make your product. And sometimes, just like those distributors, they start hearing certain numbers and they're like, oh, this is going to be crazy. Especially if it's one of those people that you're paying a relatively decent number to. And let's be honest, that number is the number of people that's getting a relatively decent number on indie films is low, but there's still some roles and some times where you're paying people a relatively decent day rate. And then you kind of let them behind the scenes and they might be like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? We're not going to be able to do this. No way. If you have a body of work that they can look at, that eases that concern. But I find myself trying to do the same thing. I'll typically do it as we go through the actual production process because deal memos are done. We're on set. We're starting to pull back the veil, and we're like, look, this is the budget, man. Like this is what we spend. Like everybody's just motivated, man. We're gonna get this thing done. We're gonna make some money. Cool, But doing it in the beginning is also. It's probably you get a better result. It's just like super scary for the filmmaker, obviously.
It is. And it's like, but the one thing I think is that everyone that I want on one of my projects, and I would assume you're similar, is like, obviously you want good, talented people, but like you want people that want that when this movie is done, it's something that they're proud of. Not that it's just a paycheck. Exactly. And the thing is we can't afford paycheck people anyways when you're making these movies. And so it's like, I feel like potentially, because I'm the kind of person, like I'll work on stuff for free. I mean, I have a job, I have a life, but it's like, if I'm passionate about something, I love it. And I've done it in the past. That's how I learned. I'm not trying to say that everyone has to do that, but my feeling of it is like, as long as I think I'm working on something that's going to be cool and I'm going to be like, I'm not going to watch and be like, holy shit. Like, I don't want to tell anybody I did that. It's like, I don't, then I'm happy. And so like, I feel like that's kind of like sometimes when it's usually for me in my experience, it's like, maybe there's a department that wants 5 people instead of 2. And when I'm trying to tell them like, hey, it's just going to be the 2 of you, they're kind of looking at me like I'm cheap, like you cheap bastard. Like, and it's like, no.
Know that you're talking about the makeup department first.
But you're like, look, 2 there, I could put 1 over here and we're going to have a better end product. Okay. Right. So don't, but it's like, you're right. And it's wild. The different departments are wild. Like sometimes to me, and especially on the movie. It's like if you're going out and shooting some big movie, yes, departments need 10 people. When you're making these movies, maybe 1 or 2, or maybe one person actually is in 2 departments.
Yeah, no, that's generally what it is. It's like on this day, this person is your assistant. On this day, this person belongs to the lighting crew. It's I mean, look. So makeup. Am I the only one that has experienced this? Makeup. It seems like the good makeup artists. There's no like deals. There's like the good makeup department. They don't like give like you can find like a cinematographer that's like, oh man, I really like love this project. I like this is great. I want to make this. I also want to put something on my portfolio that's going to look good. I've seen this and I've seen that, and I know what you guys are doing. Makeup and hair department is just like, look, I can go do a wedding. Like, could you just get that what it needs to be, or
Yeah, it's funny you say that because to be honest with you, hold on, let me flip on my light. I've been doing this all day and I'm in the dark now, and it's but I want to come back. I want to finish talking. Hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
What I was gonna say was that makeup is definitely one of the ones. I was lucky. What I found is probably just like every other department. It's like when you find somebody kind of early on and you give them a chance, they usually come and help you later on and keep staying cool. But you are right. I think some of the departments that are tough is makeup. I think camera's a tough one too. But I think you're a camera guy, right? You're a cinematographer.
Yeah, so I guess that's how I kind of get around that one.
Yeah, but it's like because like I have really good close friends and they'll all give me a good deal. But like some of them are kind of like they're like, yeah, I'll give you a good price and I'll bring all my stuff, which is so. But they're also kind of like, but I want 4 guys, It's like, and it's not even. It's like because they just kind of want like they're kind of used to the process. And then when I'm trying, and that's kind of what I was like when I'm trying to be like, listen, here's the thing, It's like I could give you one guy, and he's got a gaff and he's got to be, but like, they look at you kind of like you son of a bitch, like you don't respect what I'm doing. But it happens in makeup too. On the last project I worked on, it was set design. I was like, Jesus Christ, how many people need to be here for set design? And like I'm not discrediting the craft of anything.
No, that's not what we're saying.
It's like when you've done this, and you're the director. I mean, I'm the PA, I'm the director, I'm the producer, I'm the guy that gets lunch half the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to wear a lot of hats. And when you have more people like that around you that are happy to do that, that's how we get it done. And it's like, and so I guess that's my point, is like, I guess it's just the relationships with certain people. But I also think that maybe there's a little bit of responsibility on us where it's like, and that's why I'm going to try this other thing this next time, is like, where maybe they just don't understand, maybe they just haven't gotten a good enough peek behind the curtain.
Well, look, Mike, the camera department's no longer hard for you. We're connected now.
I love it, man. And I'm happy to help in any way.
And you got to tell me who this makeup artist is. Because we got to.
Yeah, I think I have some decent ones that we could help with. And
makeup artists are like, look. I mean, and maybe when it comes to like special effects makeup, because they need, like everyone else in the film industry, to have a portfolio of film, and the only way to really get it is a chicken or egg. Do I get the portfolio, or get the gig, or get a nice gig, good looking products to get the gig? Which one do I get, right? But like maybe if it's outside of because like this recent Golden Lagoon, we had a very, very talented and very qualified makeup artist, and she was like, she gave us a great deal, but I guess I'm talking about like the normal, like like not like horror film or thriller like makeup, like the traditional special effects makeup, where I just seem like it's just like, oh my god, like what you charging by the head, by the hour? Oh snap.
It is amazing, and I guess this is a good conversation, I think, also for filmmakers that are trying to kind of get to making their first thing. It is amazing the numbers you can get for certain things, when you're like, and that's why I've learned that it's best for me to like find the number I have before I even talk to anybody. It's like, hey, Gino, you want to come shoot this movie? I have $2,000, and you're like, hey, go screw yourself, or as opposed to being like, hey, I'm making a movie. What do you want? You're like, 15,000. And like, like, and it's not even that you can't work together. It's just that you've both worked yourself out of an opportunity to work together because the communication just wasn't right.
I find you can definitely overbid yourself, or you can someone can, like, say if you lay it out, you think you laid it out for someone, and then they give you the 15K number when you were in the 2,000 range. You don't want to be insulting. Don't want to be insulting. I don't want you unhappy. I'm going to try my best to find someone who can be more motivated about that. Again, I don't know if that's the right word, but someone that's more in the range, because I might come back to you and give you my other number, but I just don't want to be insulting. And that often is the end of a lot of communication right there.
Right. You're just like, oh, okay, sorry. You move on. And it's, and the truth is, like, also, I think that part of that, and that's where you kind of find the special things, is like, it's not that someone's willing to take 2K. It's that they're happy to take 2K to do the thing because they want that opportunity. Like, I think you had kind of said when we talked, you've worked on some really amazing stuff, but the only way that you get to be a director is by, setting up your own projects and being a director. Exactly. And that's, that's, whereas like, in an imaginary world where it's like, oh man, this guy's done all this cool stuff and he's working on all this stuff and makes a great living. I could offer him to come direct this film for me, but I could only pay him $5,000. There's no way he's going to want to talk to me. Well, you never know that. You never know what people are trying to get to and don't know how to find their way to it. So,
especially when most filmmakers, you're going to offer him $5,000 to do it. Well, in most cases, he'd have been paying $30,000 to do it.
Right, exactly. But it's wild that, like, because I love the way you think. I think we're a lot alike, but it's like, it's wild that there's some that you're like, hey man, I'll give you 5, and they're like, wait a minute, like, again, the same guy that's going to pay the 30, right? Like 5, like, no man.
All of a sudden, you're snarling at 5 when you'd have paid 30.
You'd have been upside down 30.
Think about this. Nobody pause.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, dude, I love chatting with you. After the film festival, I want to do more live streams on my channel, talk more about filmmaking. And man, I would love to have you come on, and I'd love to do that stuff. And if you want to do kind of the with one of your projects, kind of like an open experience, and you need a place to do it, like I'd love to put it on the channel.
Yeah.
I like sharing the filmmaking experience with filmmakers and everyone else, because
No, I think that's something I want to do. I think that's something we're gonna do. We're gonna find the right project that we're gonna do it with. And I kind of got one in mind because everyone involved, they're very close to me. And so, well, not everyone's on board already yet, but the core people that would have to say yeah to it is, and so I think that's something that I'll reach out to you, and we'll do like our weekly or bi-weekly, update.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to stay connected after the film festival's over. So
yeah. Well, I'm super excited to see you this weekend.
Me too, man.
Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. And anybody that's watching us, stuck around, please come out, see Going to the Lagoon on Sunday. I have some free tickets. Hit me up on Facebook on either my profile or Sin City Horror Fest, and we'll get you some tickets and come support some cool artists.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do the red carpet deal. We're gonna it's gonna be the full on deal. Like everyone's gonna be out. There is no dress code, obviously.
Yeah.
But the talent is gonna be there in their Sunday's best, and they're going to get some photos. You're welcome to get photos with them.
Awesome.
We got a pretty cool little art setup, and we'll watch a movie.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome.
Gino, thank you so much for joining us, and we will chat very soon, buddy.
Talk soon. Good evening.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you guys. If anybody is still sticking around, I appreciate. It looks like we got 4 people watching. Appreciate all of you that did pop in and watch and hang out. And we will chop this up into segments of the filmmakers, and it'll be on the Creepy Popcorn, so you can watch each filmmaker. But again, anybody that is in Las Vegas, going to be in Las Vegas November 6th and the 9th, and you love horror movies, Sin City Horror Fest is going on at Brenden Theaters at the Palms. We have really some very, very cool films. We went through all the feature filmmakers today. I wish I could do all this with the short filmmakers, but just don't have the time. But there's incredible short films to come out and see. So if you guys are here in town, please come check it out. I think you'll be very happy and have a great time. So once again, thanks to everyone that participated. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Insurgents, Universal Fright Nights, Horror Brew Coffee. I know I just said that wrong. I'm sorry. KNPR, String Beacon TV, and everyone else. We'll talk soon, and we'll see you at the movie.